With that being said, friends, now we're getting back into Oblivion. If you can believe it, holy shit. Hadn't played this game in a few weeks. I want to say 2 weeks. And of course, we are in the midst of Deepscorn Hollow. Oh, I'm wrong. Sundercliff Watch. For some reason, I get those two mixed up. Sundercliff Watch on the quest for Mehrunes Razor. And we had seen some deets about the Inner Sanctum. Rather, Varsa Balam, because Sundercliff Watch is at the tippy top, the ruins, rather, of Sundercliff Watch are at the tippy top of this lost city. This lost Aelic? What's the word? It's been so long since I played this game. The lost civilizations that predated Cyrodiil. There's a lost city called Varsa Balam, and apparently, to get into this lost city, in whatever shape it's in, we need to place two bezoars onto 2 pedestals. Well, we got both of the bezoars. We're all good. And here lies the door. We can't go through it, but we know exactly what needs to be done. So, enchanted pedestal number 1, enchanted pedestal number 2. I've dispelled the barrier. Yeah, we're chasing Drothon, who is, if I'm recalling correctly, he's like, I don't think it's a cult. No, it's probably not a cult. The main story is all about a cult, obviously, the Mythic Dawn. No, Drothon's trying to amass like an anti-imperialist army because he's trying to pull a Morrowind, really. He's trying to amass an army of like Dunmer extremists to overthrow the government, basically, overthrow the empire. Which, you know, so much of Morrowind and the lore behind that game is the friction between the Tribunal and the Tribunal and also the Ashlanders, the natives, basically, like, or maybe natives isn't the right word, but like I guess more or less native dark elves, in Morrowind, versus the Empire that is like, you know, the Imperial Legion that is establishing itself on the island of Vardenfell and probably on the mainland as well, and how that's causing a lot of friction, and some Dunmer are okay with it and others are extremely not okay, and there's extremists, and there are, you know, there is sometimes conflict between the two, kind of more or less two sides. I mean, even within the natives, there's the 3 houses. Again, there's the Tribunal and the temple worshippers. Then there's the Ashlanders, who kind of shun a lot of that anyway, but generally speaking, you can think of it as the pro and anti-imperialist perspectives, and there's some of that in this game too, which I think is fascinating. As a Morrowind devotee, I'm all about that shit. Speaking of Morrowind, by the way, Morrowind reference. So if you have a bingo board and you're looking for a Morrowind reference, we've had one already. In fact, I should add that to the title. I forget to add that sometimes. Also, general reminder that I do have closed captions on. So if closed captioning is your thing, it is not hidden, it is not shown by default, but if you ever wish to see closed captions enabled, you would hover your mouse cursor over, if it's on desktop at least, you'd hover your mouse cursor to the bottom right, and basically next to the little gear options icon, it should give you an option to enable closed captions if I did it right. I'm not sure if it works on mobile, but I think it might. I guess I've never tried it, but hopefully there'd be a similar option next to the gear icon that would allow you to enable closed captions. So with that being said, excavate a ruin. Here we go. Let's see what this is all about. First Oblivion stream in 2 weeks. We're going right into the bowels of a dungeon. I mean, I guess we were already in a dungeon, but now we're in a dungeon's dungeon. To be clear, I have a pretty open inventory, although I think part of that is the boots I'm wearing. I think I got some new boots, or maybe greaves, that give me a... Yeah, it's these. Yeah, the Morag Tongue Assassin. That's right, I remember this guy. Yeah, the feather greaves that we got, which in some ways are not as good as the other greaves that we were using, but... Where are the other ones we were using? Because they were glass greaves, I think, and they had other cool stuff on them. Maybe I'm wrong. Here it is, yes, Spell Taker's Greaves. Spell Absorption is pretty good. Of course, it's only good when you're fighting a spellcaster, whereas Fortify Speed is always nice. But I don't know if it's nice enough. I think overall, the Spell Absorption is probably the better thing to use, but the fact this extends our carrying capacity is pretty appealing. Apparently there's no baddies around yet, but I don't suspect that will last. See a pile of bones, and I see blood on the floor, and I see more bones over there, skulls and such. This is a happy little place. Fairly appropriate for being close-ish to Halloween. Tables knocked over, shit's thrown about, daggers on the floor, stone cups, bowls. Pandemonium, I says. Ask them to at least organize their bones into a pile. Don't you hate it when you go over to a friend's house and their bones are just everywhere? It's a mess. They don't even have their designated blood corner like these guys do. They just have it every which way. It's a mess. These guys were they were considerate, right? They have got their bones in the middle, a nice tidy pile, easy to get around, easy to step over or step on if that's your thing. 2 gold, hell yeah. I think the implication here is that this cave-in got this poor guy. Another bone pile over here. Well, I wonder if some great catastrophe happened here. I mean, if this is indeed part of the Lost City. I'm trying to remember if we learned lore about what happened to this place, why it got sealed. It's been so long since I've played this. I mean, not that long in the grand scheme of things, but relatively long. I think we learned that there was lore about this place, like what caused it to disappear like this. Check the bingo card, Sunflower. Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, the way it works is that you, if you click that link, or actually it's kind of weird because it has hashtags in it. If you copy and paste that URL, the full URL with the hashtags and all that jazz, copy and paste it into your browser of choice, it will generate a unique bingo card that is unique to you and to you alone. And if you get a bingo, you know, throughout the events of the stream, I went to pick up, hold on, let's make sure it lives. You alright, game? You alright? It's, oh boy, it's struggling. Of all the games that I stream, and I stream a lot of different games, and all the games that I have streamed, this game has been the one that has given me the most trouble by an enormous margin. Like, I've never had a game crash my graphics drivers nearly as much as this game does. So the fact that picking up a Ruby pushed the game to its limits and perhaps, you know, made OBS sad and made my graphics card driver sad. I don't know if I can blame it exclusively on the game, but it is usually the common denominator with all of this. So regardless, we're back now, but yeah, that was annoying because we are less than an hour into the stream, actually less than half an hour in, and we've already had a crash. Well, actually, the game didn't crash, but the stream did go down. What happens when you get bingo? Yes, I'm sorry, Sunflower. Yeah, because I realize you just said that one of your bingo columns or rows probably can't happen now. But yes, what happens when you get a bingo? So, the honest truth of the matter is I really don't have much I can offer. I wish I had, like, some kind of channel point thing that I had complete control over. Because there are channel points. We have, you know, ways for where that, or what am I trying to say? Things that you can redeem your channel points for various goofy things that we do on stream. You know, we have the AI redemptions, we have the MS Paint challenge, we have the TED Talk, all that jazz. We have me drinking water, scintillating stuff. I know it's amazing, but I wish I had more control over channel points. I wish I could get, like add points for people. I wish there was a command that says gift 1,000 channel points to Jet Dive because you got a bingo or something like that. Sadly, there is no control for that yet. Maybe eventually Twitch will do something like that. So what do I have to offer in the meantime? Ultimately, what I do is you get a free nut button push. This is what it sounds like. So you get one of those for free. That was just a demonstration, by the way. That was a demo nut. You get a free nut, and then I add 5 additional points to the... Oh, my torch just ran out. 5 additional points to the extra life counter. Extra life points counter, which we absolutely do have control over. So, and that of course is the one that contributes to raising money towards charity. So that's the best I got for now. But maybe we'll think of more fun things at some point in the future. Other like cool and unique ways to celebrate a bingo. Yes, yeah, and bragging rights. Most importantly, bragging rights. That is perhaps the most important. Yes, a free nut button, 5 points to the extra life charity counter. And bragging rights, more than you could ever hope for. We are to Varsa Balin, by the way. Let's see if this is all it was cracked up to be. The Lost Aliad City. That's the word. Aliad. There's no telling what I may encounter here. I mean, I have no idea what to expect. Although I see spell casting. I don't think they see us. I think they're fighting each other. The audio up a little bit on my end. It's kind of quiet. Someone is fighting someone else. Oh, it's a ghost. A ghost is fighting some adventurers. It's actually pretty tame. I was kind of hoping for some, like, weird shit. Oh, wait, no, hold on. It's a vampire, I think. I think a vampire is fighting adventurers. Because I see a ghost, but there's, like, another person who's glowing. Okay, well, the person got... Oh, one of them. Oh, yeah, there's another person there. Yes, it's vampires versus non-vamps. Non-vampy boys. Hard to follow. It's kind of interesting watching the AI fight. Oh, it looks like that guy's injured. I could, like, throw a fireball that has AoE, but the problem is the AoE would more affect the vampire. It wouldn't affect the Dunmer hardly at all because they have good fire resist. Alright, the Dunmer were victorious. These are the Dorothians, I think is what they call them. The followers of Drothar, or Drothan, whatever his name is. The one who's trying to build this army to overthrow the empire, overthrow the government. And does that count as me encountering a vampire? I would say it counts. Once we confirm it is a vampire, and I think we will, it probably counts. Just gonna see if I can jump over here. Did the game crash? The game, shockingly enough, did not crash. OBS shit the bed, so the game did temporarily go down, or the stream temporarily went down. But despite everything else, the game actually managed to keep it together, which is not usually the case. Usually we get the opposite. Usually the stream holds it together, and the stream and what am I saying? The game shits the bed. So these are enemies, technically. I'm gonna put my torch away because I want to try to be sneaky. Now they were already injured. Oh, they were already injured by the fight they were in. I want to try to be sneaky, but it's kind of hard to when they're, you know, that close. Again, steel is short sword of shattering. I think I succeeded. He's doing that thing where he's not really reacting. Wait, is that guy running away? Is this guy... I think he's glitched or something. He's just gonna let me slap the shit out of him. Either this guy is fleeing or... He was here a second ago. Oh, no, okay. The noise is this guy not being aware of what's happening. Somehow he has no idea. He was here a second ago. He sure was. He sure was. Hey, what's up, Dave? It's so janky. Yeah, it's so weird. I suspect what's happening is that Oblivion is like old and is using like some deprecated methods or deprecated functions for certain calls to the graphics drivers. And the graphics drivers handle it mostly okay, but sometimes they shit out. And when graphics drivers shit out, sometimes it causes OBS to shit out. I think it has detrimental effects downstream. So I think what's happening is that Oblivion is... I mean, I've played older games in Oblivion, but I think it must be doing some very special things with the graphics drivers that other games don't do anymore. And like, or even like contemporary, or like games of its contemporary also didn't do. That's the only theory I can think of, because yeah, we don't have these other problems when we play Phantasy Star Online or Faith for that matter, or Jackbox or browser games. Like it's so wild that this is the only exception. But I guess that's just how it goes, right? When I was playing this, all I have in the background. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fact that's a good point too. The fact that we're streaming it does add extra overhead, and maybe that extra overhead is too much. I'm gonna steal your arrows of silence just because those are annoying. I'm also gonna steal your Daedric arrow and your ebony arrow. Thought that was too much. However, he is aware that he's been thieved, but he is still unwilling or unable to detect me. So I will continue to slap his booty with the sword. Sneak attack for 1 times damage every time. And you'll be dead within the next few hours at this rate. Until it's an Elder Scrolls game, but it looks... Yeah, exactly. If you've played Skyrim, if you've played ESO, this will look quite dated. If you've played Morrowind, like I have, and if you've played it nearly as much as I have, then this will look beautiful. Because I love Morrowind, but it is an old, scrungy, muddy-looking game that I love dearly. And if you were here for more than 5 minutes, you will hear me wax poetic about how much I love Morrowind, and I won't shut the fuck up about it. Despite everyone begging me, please, Alex, talk about literally anything else. And I'm unwilling and unable to do that. ESO and Skyrim, yeah, if you've played a lot of those games, then this will definitely look dated. It's an Xbox 360, PS3 era game. So, makes perfect sense that it's going to be quite old. And sure enough, vampire dust, vampire confirmed. So there were definitely vampy boys and girls in these midsts. Summoning ghosts to fight for them, all that jazz. That explains what was going down here. Vampire Acrobat, what an interesting title. Like that. And your vampire dust and your lockpicks. This guy got fucking smeared. Look at this dude. Damn, son. I mean, this was a static death. Like, this was like a placed death, but still pretty gruesome, isn't it? Goddamn. Hey, what's up, Quirky? That's right, a fellow Morrowind enjoyer. That's right. You were too, Sunflower. I was... Let's see, I think 2001? 2002, maybe? So I would have been in middle school. So, what I'm trying to say is, Sunflower, is that I'm old. I'm old. And I'm gonna be dead soon. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I am old. It came out in 2022. Correct. It's a brand new game. Morrowind is a brand new game. It just came out, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, Corky, I'm right there with you. Me and Corky and all of us 30 plus individuals in the chat. We know what's up. So there's a cave entrance. There's another one over here. Or I guess it's the same thing. Cave Arpania. So we'll explore those as well. Oh, it's all dilapidated. Hey, what's up, Sky Shadowing? Is this for the old folks? Yes, this is the old folks' home. This is the old folks' Elder Scrolls Enjoyer home. Oh, look at this guy. How do you even get back here, homie? God dang. Johnson says, I'm a mid-20er, and I am also a Morrowind enjoyer. Well, that's because you are a smart individual, Johnson. That's why. And I'm not saying if you don't like Morrowind, you're not smart. But I am saying if you like Morrowind, you are smart. Like, I can't confirm it's a two-way operation, but it's definitely a one-way operation, at least. Working customer service. Oh, you know what, Sunflower? That is fair too. When I was in college, I worked retail and had a lot of... It wasn't customer service, obviously, but a lot of customer-facing activities, we'll just say, throughout my workday. So I remember, like, just feeling exhausted by the ends of those days. Not even, like, physically exhausted, but just mentally and, like, socially dead. So, yeah, it's a soul-sucking experience, I would say. Daggerfall. Oh, Sky Shadowing's got his beat. I've never played Daggerfall. I love Morrowind to the moon and back, but I have never played Daggerfall. Although I think I would enjoy it, because I've played Doom-likes. I loved Heretic and Hexen. Well, okay, Hexen is rough, but Heretic is great. And a lot of games of that era, Dark Forces. I mean, I like a lot of old school stuff, so I think I would probably like Daggerfall. There we go. Sky Shadowing's got that's the proper logical statement. Thank you, friend. Stardew. That's understandable too. For some people, Elder Scrolls games aren't really, their huge cup of tea, or if they do enjoy, one over the other. It's for more targeted reasons. Because yeah, I love Morrowind, and I like this game too, but I'm more of a Morrowind guy because of the, I'm actually trying to see if I can jump over there, but I don't think I can. I love it for the depth that it offers with the systems that it has, and with the freedom that it gives the player with the kinds of builds it can make. So I love the openness and the complexity, even though it's a bit much for some people, and I understand why they don't like it. But for me, selfishly, I love it. And Skyrim, obviously, some people like the more cool and modern combat, and they like the more actiony kind of they like the more what am I trying to say? Not service level depth, but like the kind of depth that is, oh, look at you. Who the hell are you? The kind of depth in the game that is like less about understanding a bunch of systems and more about like understanding how like the combat flows best, and spending less time on the minutia and more time on the meat of the bones. You know, you're able to make like a spellcaster build without studying wiki articles on the difference between conjuration and alteration, all that jazz. So it's like they kind of trim out some of the fat with Skyrim and this game to an extent. And of course, some people don't like any of that. They want an MMO, and that's where ESO comes in. You know, they want that multiplayer experience. Also, the FOV is kind of fucked because my shoulder keeps clipping into view. That's a little bit strange. Vampire Warrior was this man. Got his dust, and he gave me the common vampire code, so I need to cleanse that of my system real quick. Cure disease. Bam. 1996. Yeah, it would have been, it had to have been late 90s, like mid to late 90s. So I think that's after Doom, I think. But still, it would have been from around that time. You're right. I was actually thinking about that too, Sky Shadowing, because yeah, there's the GOG version that I think has the Daggerfall Unity stuff bundled in, which is nice. So yeah, it's never been easier than it is now to get into Daggerfall. So yeah, it's kind of on my list. I think it's a game I would definitely want to play. I think once I finish up with this playthrough, which probably won't be for a while, but once I do finish it up, I will most likely, and then at some point in the future, if I find myself getting an Elder Scrolls itch once more, I would probably go for Daggerfall. God, immediate Porphyra Chemophilia. Are you kidding me? Once I find myself getting the Elder Scrolls itch again, I probably wouldn't play Skyrim. I would actually probably go for Daggerfall. Because the idea of something kind of old school like that is very appealing to me. Although I've mentioned before that once this playthrough... Whoa. See where... Look at his shield go. God dang. Probably within the next month or two, I'm going to be starting to stream Morrowind. Not because it'll be a casual playthrough or even like a speedrun or anything like that. I'm going to be doing Morrowind Randomizer. Because I am working on some mods, or I'm working on updates to some mods that I've previously made. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I think we're good. Working on some updates to some mods that I had previously made, because one of the things that I was doing for a long time on this channel is that, it's a pretty good dagger, is that I would do this thing called Morrowind Randomizer. I found a bunch of cool mods online, on Nexus Mods, that allowed me to start like a new character with a random starting location and random stats, random birth sign, random race and gender, and vampire status, werewolf status, like all that is randomized, and then like get randomized gear drops and loot tables and monster spawns. And however, I was not satisfied because there were other things that I wanted to randomize, so I made some mods myself that I put on Nexus Mods, and that was like a thing I did for a while, but I kind of I put it away for a while and streamed other stuff. And in the meantime, I've had people make suggestions on changes I can make to this mods. I'm trying to jump on this so I can hop over this wall, but maybe there's nothing in this. Maybe there's nothing behind here. Maybe it's a big waste of time. So anyway, here we go. I haven't gone into any doors, by the way. I've just been fucking around this whole time. But, so I'm working on updates to these mods based on feedback that I've received, and they're quite time-consuming to work on. But once they're ready, I'm going to get back into doing Morrowind Randomizer alongside my current things that I stream. So I'll probably take like maybe one day of the week to do Morrowind Randomizer on top of whatever else I'm streaming. So probably within the next month or two, I'm hoping to get that to a point where it's like streamable and ready. So anyway, so between this game and Morrowind, I'm going to have my Elder Scrolls itch thoroughly scratched, but eventually I will want to do more, and Daggerfall, I think, will fit that bill quite well. I'm going to play something like Skyrim with your friends. Right, yeah, more of a co-op person. Maybe not the MMO thing, not so much, but you want the co-op. That's fair too, yeah, because the multiplayer element to ESO seems pretty nice. Now, you might know where I'm going with the Sunfire. You might have already heard about the mod. Or that's, I think it's called Skyrim Together. Or something like that. It is a multiplayer mod for Skyrim that just had its 1.0 release. Excuse me? What happened to this guy? The mod just had its 1.0 release like I want to say 2 months ago. So it's pretty fresh in that it's more or less complete. And apparently it's quite good. I haven't played it myself because I haven't played Skyrim yet, but I've heard very good things about the Skyrim Together mod. So if the idea of some kind of Skyrim co-op thing tickles your fancy, I would recommend checking it out because it sounds real good. Got some roasted veggies, Johnson? That sounds delightful. Doom is 93. Yes, this would have been around the same time. The lore is really cool. That makes sense too. I mean, I know that you can go to Morrowind in ESO, which is pretty cool. So they have like part of Vivec, they have Balmora. It's like, I think that's pretty neat. But yeah, the fact that you get like more opportunities to explore the in-universe lore, because in Skyrim it's mostly limited to, shocker, Skyrim, right? Who knew, right? That Morrowind is mostly limited to Morrowind, or Vardenfell specifically, mostly. Solstheim is technically in Skyrim, but that was kind of a retcon after the fact. But yeah, and like in each Elder Scrolls mainline game, you only have the one area. Oblivion is all Cyrodiil, Morrowind is mostly Vardenfell, and Skyrim is, well, Skyrim. So the fact that ESO means you can go to like other places and like learn about other places that you only kind of hear bits and pieces about in the main game. It's pretty nice. It's like pretty compelling for people who are like really wanting to sink their teeth into some cool lore tidbits. So I'm hoping to jump on this thing, but it's not working for me. There we go. A fully knit Doom blanket. That sounds wonderful, actually. Holy crap, that'd be super nice. A nice, warm, cozy Doom blanket. So we can climb this thing. I don't really know why I climbed this. I just wanted to. I wanted to prove to myself that I could. Although, there's some things up here, too. This guy was trying to either hug or hump his favorite storage cask. Purloined Shadows and Freezing Shard. I mean, I'm curious. Let's see what these both are. It could be neat. Freezing Charm, or Shard rather. 3 damage for, ooh, that's pretty rough, but we have much better spells than this, but we have it. Oh, I was thinking you meant like a kind of like a collage of different like panels, like a quilt, like a quilt with like different panels of like, here's the Cacodemon, and here's the Icon of Sin, and here's the armor, and here's the Doom guy's face when he's smiling when he gets the shotgun or what have you. So no, you mean like, yeah, print out the source code, which I think is readily available online. Get the source code, or I guess maybe even source code, the compiled binary or the compiled machine language, I guess, and then yeah, translate it to binary, and then yeah, have that like knitted onto like a blanket. I think that'd be kind of cool, actually. More roasted veggies. Just eat the whole damn thing. That sounds awesome. If nothing else, you can make more and have leftovers for tomorrow night. Starting zones are kind of rough. Oh, really? But some DLCs add some cool stuff. That's good. Well, and like you said, Sky Shadowing, I've heard this from others as well, that ESO, you can play single player super easily. Because, you know, some MMOs, it's like, oh, this game seems cool, but, you know, like, I don't know if I want to, like, commit to, like, a multiplayer thing, or it's hard finding a stable group. Sneak skill, very nice. So the fact that, yeah, the fact that it's friendly to single player play is pretty appealing. Because, you know, the whole joy of Elder Scrolls, for a lot of people at least, is a single player adventure. So the fact that that is enabled with ESO was a smart move on their part, on the devs' part. Not wanting to squander that potential audience. Knit the code, because yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, really, at the end of the day, you could take that with any piece of software. You could take any piece of software, if you have the source code available, or at least the compiled machine code, you could pretty dang easily convert that into binary, and then once it's in binary, yeah, translate it to a knitting pattern. And the tricky thing, of course, is that Doom is a 1993 video game, so the source code is not simple by any means, but simple compared to, you know, this game. So you could technically take the source code from Skyrim if you had available to you, and turn a knitting pattern out of that game and knit Skyrim, but the source code will be, of course, much more involved, and the blanket would have to be gigantic, most likely. But yeah, I totally see where you're going where you're going at with that Sunflower, because that's definitely doable. A candy comb. I got some Butterfingers, Quirky. That sounds wonderful. Butterfingers are one of my favorites, as far as Halloween candy goes, or just candy in general. I haven't had a Butterfinger in years, but they are one of my favorites. So we have a bunch of caves to explore. I've gone into none of them. I'm just fucking around and like exploring, but I have not ventured in anything yet. Taking in the sights. 3,000 square feet. That's a little big. That's a little big. I'm gonna assume that, being that none of us are privy to Skyrim's source code, we will never know, but Skyrim would probably be several hundred miles, maybe? It's pretty wild to imagine, honestly. I'm gonna go out on a limb and suggest this is probably the main place. Ooh, yes, the Neferigium. That sounds familiar. That's a cool idea, though. The idea of, like, even just running it as a simulation. Like, feed in, like, here is a piece of software. Estimate how large of a quilt or large of a blanket it would take to convert this piece of software into binary and print that into a knitting pattern. So that'd be a cool simulation thing to kind of play around with. Ball Thumb's Insight. I think that must be a spell. As I said, it was a tome. It is Detect Life. Yeah, it's okay. Johnson says, Quirky, you can go to sleep. It is perfectly fine. And Johnson is correct. Yeah, and that goes for anybody. If anybody is getting sleepies, I will not at all be offended if people have to hop off. I've had a few people be like, Alex, I hope you're not offended that your stream's put me to sleep. It's like, there's multiple ways you can digest that. You could take that information and be like, oh, I'm boring them to sleep. I don't see it that way, though. I see it as, oh, it's the somber, dulcet tone of my voice is lulling them into a comfy slumber because I am so comforting and pleasant to watch and listen to. That's what I tell myself, because I think that's a nicer way to look at it. Who's this friend? Drothmeri Recruit. He's got a quill. Let's see, were you writing something? He was writing an undelivered letter. I will explore the details of this letter. Beyond my skill. Well, I mean, yeah, and nor would you expect it to be Sunflower unless you have like a background in software development. Some kind of tool like that would be very involved to make. Or even just reading Doom's source code, because I think it's out there on the internet. Doom is a relatively simple game, but still, the people that made it were like John Carmack and John Romero. Like, these are people that are revered for being like very brilliant developers, even to this day. So yeah, that's like some pretty high level stuff, honestly, more than like, you know, a hobbyist would be expected to just instantly understand. You went to bed at 8 right now, you would be up at 3 a.m. Let's see. So you would wake up, you'd go for like 7 hours. I don't know. I feel like if I'm really tired and I go to bed super early, I might sleep like 9, 10, 11 hours, depending on how badly my body needs the rest. If your knee is causing problems, might, yeah, go until 4:30. Yeah. Still, that's a pretty early rise, obviously. So we've actually already seen this. This is not the right undelivered letter. Let's check this one. This is probably the undelivered letter that we just got, that is. So Aluk. I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that Aluk is short for Alucard, and that this is all part of the Symphony of the Night cinematic universe. So, your patrol stumbled across my outing at the cemetery, he says. Oh, wait a second. Is that where all those bones came from? Yes, he says, how could you have known that your patrol would stumble across my outing in the cemetery? So he says, no denying my deed, a sack full of limbs and grave soil still fresh on my boots. With your men standing by, what choice was there but pursuit, lest they suspect your own true nature? Says, I'm glad it was you to expose me and not another whose spellfire may not have missed my escape so widely. My new haven provides safety and bodies to work on, whether those are long dead or hapless bandits. I'll be content here for some time. He asks that this person care for Kesu maybe? When my time comes, I'll return to live again in our beloved Daggerfall. Till then, Captain Cardius, remain vigilant and always hidden. So this person, I guess, was like performing experiments on dead bodies and necromancy and shit like that. He was just a recruit though, so I mean, oh no, this guy wasn't doing it. He was the courier. He was the delivery. He was the delivery boy. So, amongst these individuals lurks a necromancer or Dr. Frankenstein wannabe experimenter. Actually, Gracie and I, and Gracie, myself, and Void, and our friend from Ukraine, Anastasia, the four of us watched Young Frankenstein for the first time on Halloween. I had actually never seen that movie until just a couple days ago, so I feel very cultured, having just now learnt how great that movie is. It is quite good. So yeah, this is where we came from. So let's start exploring caves, now that I've kind of done a full loop. Can you spare some loops? We did a full loop of this cool place. There was apparently a thing out here that I did not explore, and maybe a little nook out here, but otherwise we did pretty alright. Modding Stardew, really? That's cool. Oh, you're worried you might mess it up though? Yeah. No, I don't blame you, Sunflower. I mean, modding can sometimes be a little bit tricky, especially if you're overwriting files. Generally speaking, as long as you like save backups of things, Sunflower, you're probably fine. But I understand the anxiety, because there's always the concern of like, oh, what if I screw something up? Yeah, it's the one from, yeah, what's the person's name? Vilverin. Okay, that's the guy's name. I'm evil without 8 hours, says Quirky. Oh, that was a different one, Sky Shadowing? Oh shit, okay, in that case, maybe I'm wrong. Was it undelivered letter or undelivered letter? Oh, you're right, Sky Shadowing. I missed it. Undelivered letter. I'm a doofus. Yeah, Young Frankenstein was very good. Yeah, I fell behind in chat, by the way. If you probably noticed that already. Never seen it. It's quite good. It's got all the Mel Brooks isms you would ever expect. Because yeah, I've never seen. I until now had never seen Young Frankenstein. I've also never seen Blazing Saddles, but I have seen Spaceballs, and I have seen what's the other big one? The big one that he did, I can't remember, but I've seen a number of his movies. Never heard of it. It's an, I think, mid to late 70s movie, but it's like a parody of monster Frankenstein movies of sorts. It's kind of a slapstick parody. It's quite good. History of the World I have seen. History of the World is good. Oh, Men in Tights. You know what? I actually have not seen Men in Tights. I have not seen that one. I actually didn't realize that was Mel Brooks, but it makes perfect sense that it would be. So here we go. So this is the correct letter. Thank you to Sky Shadow for pointing this out. It says, beset by monsters. Discovering the accursed city. That's where we're at, exactly. Separated from most of the others. So, it said there's monsters here. Watchmen 10 times my superior fall in combat against them. Screams echoing in the vastness, blood splashing against pale stones. Staining the face of our attackers. Jesus, I wonder what kinds of thing it was. Cannibalistic frenzy, it says. Drothon's a madman. I was so eager to prove myself to be part of something, proud to send part of my wages home to Mother. Tell her I died honorably, volunteering for Drothon's escort into this forsaken city, and then seal the door behind us? Damn, so he just locked them in there? That's brutal. Oh, it's because he ran. Flee in the shadows. Dagon take the suet. So, Mournhold. Yes, I remember Mournhold. Place is cold. Oh, this place is cold, Mustera. A word we heard in Morrowind a bunch. The screams are diminishing. They may start hunting for the rest of us soon. So whatever is down here, they've got keen eyes. I'm guessing vampires. I'm guessing they're talking about vampires. I know this letter will not reach you, but Vivek willing, when the winds blow east over the peaks of Valos and Velothi, may they carry my final thoughts to you. I'm so sorry, farewell. Lots of Morrowind, like, like old Morrowind isms, the way this guy drops Suet and Mosthera and Vivek willing. So yeah, again, the fact that these people are very much down for anti-imperial sentiment. So Drothon is around here somewhere then, probably means he's somewhere around here, and we might be able to find him. So let's just poke around, see if we can find this motherfucker. It's a good one. Excellent. Blazing Saddles is good. Yeah, I think I would really like it. By modern, yes, that's what I've heard, is that there are some aspects of Blazing Saddles that maybe have not aged the bestest, but as a relic of its era and as a movie, a film-based time capsule, it's delightful. Because I mean, I've seen like the Three Amigos, I've seen movies that kind of tickle some of the same styles of humor as Blazing Saddles, but yeah, I do want to see that movie at some point. Vampire Assassin, I will steal your dagger. It'd be funny if I could steal his pants. I could steal his pants, but he's not wearing them, sadly. I wish I could steal the pants that he's wearing. Not a single Mel Brooks movie has aged well. And I feel like Young Frankenstein only had a few parts that were like, a little bit questionable. But they had some like very fun gags that I really enjoyed. The thing with the brain depository just fucking sent me. I loved that one. Once you understand the point of the movie. Right, exactly. Yeah, like certain things just kind of hit the ear in parts of the brain wrong. It's like, this doesn't seem like a thing that I should be, you know, hearing right now. Oh, okay, we stole the dagger and now she's mad at us.
Whatever it was, it's gone now.
Oh. Well, she looked right at us and she... Okay, well now she's pissed. The first time she was like, well, it's probably fine, and then it was not fine. Now, it says she's a vampire assassin, although she does not look like a vampire. Well, her skin's kind of pale. Ow! Paralyzed my ass. Not cool, dude. Let's get this over with, he keeps saying. And he gave me the common vampire cold. So rude. Bonk. I want to either disarm you or knock you down, or just kill you. That works too, actually. Oh, and he poisoned me. Oh, it's some kind of drain thing. Some kind of drain effect. It'll be done soon. Love be over soon. So let's cure ourselves of porphyric hemophilia, aka the made you a vampire disease. Get our torch back out so I can see what I'm doing. Pickpocketing NPC. We did pickpocket earlier. Earlier we absolutely did pickpocket somebody because we stole a bunch of arrows from one person. So that attempt was technically unsuccessful because they detected us and like halted our progress. But earlier we definitely got some people. For those tracking for bingo purposes. My inventory is quite full, unsurprisingly. But there's a bunch of crap I can definitely stand to get rid of, because, I mean, I've got nearly 500 pounds worth of crap on my inventory. I don't need all this, man. I don't need it. I have it, but I don't need it. I can very much so get rid of some things. Actually, first thing I should do is repair things. Because that frees up a bunch of space right there, because those hammers take up space after a while. So this person was moving because he was still alive. No, he's very much dead. So this is one of the relatively recent army members that Drothon sent in here and then locked away to spell their doom. Whoops, maybe I should have picked that up, yeah. Yeah, those are getting a little bit slow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop picking up these daggers as they're weighing my ass down. So that one we keep, obviously, so this is 10 pounds for 2,700. I think we'll probably drop the ebony daggers, or at least one of them. That is what we'll do. Take your vampire dust. Oh wait, what was that? Highwayman's shirt. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. Take the gold. They talked about being overrun by terrible foes who were like super vicious, and they talked about a cannibalistic fury. Yeah, it's got to be that this place was just inhabited by vampires. Also, can I do this? Like, kick their skulls around. Hell yeah. Just mess up the place. Be a menace. A menace to their society. Yeah, the blood slappings on the wall. I wonder if when we find Drothan, if he'll be alive, and also if he will be like remorseful. If he'll be like, oh god, what have I done? I doomed my brethren. I fucked over all, you know, those who serve me, blah blah blah. Or if he'll be like indignation. If he'll be full of indignity and be like, these people that served me were weak. No one is worthy of my vision, and you know, basically be full of his own bullshit. Let's go to this one next. Because those were the same area, yeah. So both these guys got. Like, it was apparently not close.
If it's a fight you want,
oh, hello.
fight you'll get.
So, actual Drothmeri people. Oh, I think these are the ones we saw earlier. Except, no, I killed them because I snuck up on them. So we have some non-vampires. Apparently, I just missed these assholes earlier. Guy got some airtime. Just like Ben. Bonk. Ouch.
Let's get this over with. Take that. I'm just warming.
He's hitting me a lot and he's doing very little damage. Bonk. I mean, they've got, like, you know, not crappy equipment, but their little slappies are just adorable. So this, I will drop that other ebony dagger in its place. I have a lot of stuff on my person. Whole bunch of stuff. Arrow of Scorching, and nothing else. So these were not vampires. These were plain-ass dudes. Plain-ass dudes. Their asses were sadly quite normal. What's up, Elgaso? Speaking of people with unfortunately normal asses, there's Elgaso. I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, we haven't been to a town in a long time, so I've just been hoarding shit to sell. And it's not like I need to sell things, because look at my money amount. It's not like I'm struggling right now for resources, so... I don't know why I do this every time I play an Elder Scrolls game, but it's the same way in Morrowind, too. Doesn't have a poppin' ass. I mean, I've never seen Elgaso's ass. In fact, I've never even seen his face. But I'm assuming he's probably got a, like, satisfying dumpy. But it's probably not, like... It's probably not, like... You know... going to be ungrabbable. You know, it's probably a normal grabbable ass. And not like something so voluptuous that, you know, that angels weep at its side. It's probably quite normal. He makes up for other ways. Good. That is reassuring, at least. It's very bright in here. Like, strangely bright. So much so I'm gonna take the torch away, because it's too much. Flat ass, but I can lick your eyebrows? Ooh, well, I mean, you drive a hard bargain, Elgaso. Vampire monk. Can I steal his pants? I can steal nothing. He has nothing for thievening. He punches me once and I get the vampire common cold. But he fucking dies instantly. And then his light went out? So was he powering? Oh, it's his gauntlets, isn't it? Yeah, light 50 feet. So that's what light looks like. Why would you want to lick eyebrows? It's more of a demonstration of his power level, Johnson. I think it's not so much Ogasso saying my eyebrows are clean. I think it's Ogasso saying, guess what else I can reach with that tongue? Winky face, smiley face, eggplant emoji, sweat emoji. I think that's probably what he's getting at. Moonshadow. It's a shame it's not called Moonshine Gauntlets. Heavy armor. Yeah, they're neat. I'll give them that. So once again, cure thine self of thine vampire common cold. Now I gotta bring the torch back out, because now that we've dispatched the source of the light with a collection of skulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably like 15 skulls out here, man. This is quite a lot. This seems so unhygienic, though, is the thing. It's gotta start smelling after a while. Skulls and skills. Collect all the skulls and all the skills. I'm just gonna let you guys figure this out amongst yourselves. I'm hidden in the shadows. So, vampires and Drothon warriors fighting each other. I fear the vampires are gonna smother this motherfucker. Look at this guy who's like hanging out with us. Yeah, I think the vampires are gonna win this fight. And then fuck this man up. Oh, he did kill one of them. Oh, now it's anyone's guess. Now, one guy's got Daedric armor, which is pretty sick. Ooh, I don't know. I can't see their health bars. If I was quick, I would set up a prediction. People to bet their channel points. Oh. So that one's down, and then he wants me next. And then I was gonna say, am I gonna kill him in one hit? 2 hits. Still. It was pretty close. Why kill them when people... Exactly. It was gonna resolve itself, so why should I get in the way of that? Vampire Crusader. He kind of looks like the dude from the Dark Brotherhood. Old Daedric and everything. Piazza, good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. We're doing some Oblivion tonight. I'm getting back into the playthrough we started several months ago. I think I started this playthrough back in June of this year. And it's been the main thing that we've been streaming, but of course I took a few weeks off as I was playing other things. Including Majora's Mask Randomizer with our friend Jet Dive, and then Faith, that playthrough of Faith, which took a while too. So lots of cool stuff. But this has been on my radar as a thing to get back to. Excuse me, a thing to get back to. So it's nice getting back to it. Beer and snacks and a Powerball that I did not win, but still, the beer and the snacks, though, I would say you're already a winner if you got beer and snacks, Mr. Ogasso. So you really can't do too badly. Corky says, nice about losing. Well, see, Ogasso gave us the thumbs up emote, guys, so I think it's probably fine. It's more of the experience. But yeah, the timing of it is kind of funny how that works out sometimes, isn't it, Quirky? I have the same shit where it's like, I'll go to comment on something, but by the time I hit the comment, like the enter button on the comment, and it gets delivered, like something else pops in, and then it's like, oh god, now my comment looks silly. And didn't expect to, yeah, exactly. It's more of the experience of the lottery ticket and seeing what happens. The veteran got dropped out here. Now, I guess I have not been in this particular section. Piazza asked if I've ever played Skyrim. I have not. I have not played Skyrim. So this is the newest Elder Scrolls game that I've played by a pretty good margin, actually. Because the only other one I've played is Morrowind. So Morrowind and this game are my only Elder Scrolls experiences so far. Now, I was saying earlier how soon well, I shouldn't say soon, but the next time I want to play a new Elder Scrolls game, I actually would probably be more inclined to try Daggerfall, as Daggerfall interests me greatly. I think I would like that game quite a bunch, because I love Morrowind, and I won't shut the hell up about it. As many people can vouch for, I am a Morrowind fanboy, and all the stereotypes of what a Morrowind fanboy looks and smells like are 100% accurate. I don't want to jump down just yet, because there's a dude down there. However, there's more I want to explore up here. Want some pizza because of your name? Yeah, if it's Piazza, It's almost the word pizza. Almost. Fantasize what you do with 1.2 billion. I did hear about that. It's over $1 billion. And that might continue to happen more and more as the years go by, which is pretty fucking wild, honestly. That's an amount of money, or really it's a number that my brain doesn't really understand. Like, my logical brain says, oh yes, 1.2 billion, that's, you know, a million millions. But, oh wait, no, is that the right word for it? 1,000 millions? I guess, yeah, 1,000 millions. But a million is a lot. Like, a million's a fuck ton. So, it's like hard to fathom. Like $1 billion. Like, it blows my mind that that's a thing. So for me, it's hard to really put into perspective. We checked all these dudes as well. Gonna go, yeah, Quirky says, going for the big one, the big jackpot. Domino's might still be open. Yeah, after a certain hour, you're limited to the places that do, like, you know, the chains that do delivery and that kind of thing. Skyrim's amazing. Yeah, I'll play it eventually, but yeah, the thing is, a game like this and a playthrough like this has taken a long time. Again, we started back in June, and we're only now, we've recently beaten the main quest, and we're getting pretty into the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood, but right now we're doing DLC quests with Sundercliff Watch. So, and the hunt for Mehrunes Razor. So we've got a lot of game like this left. So it's like, because I tend to jump around to a lot of different games and play a lot of different things, this will satisfy my Elder Scrolls need for a while. And on top of that, you might have heard me say earlier that I have ambitions to get back into Morrowind Randomizer, because that was one of my favorite things that I ever streamed. And I'm working pretty hard off stream on updates to the mods that I developed for the Morrowind Randomizer stuff. So I definitely want to go real hard on the Morrowind Randomizer, because that was a lot of fun a couple years ago, and I want to get back to it. Especially with like the new updates that I'm making for the mods that I have previously developed. So it's kind of like a new season of Morrowind Randomizer as far as, like, you know, content that I'm streaming. So between those two things, I will have my Elder Scrolls itch thoroughly scratched. But when it happens again, yeah, Daggerfall is on the docket, and Skyrim eventually. Maybe by the time I get to Skyrim, based on how long it takes me to get to various games, maybe by the time I get to Skyrim, we'll maybe have a release window for Elder Scrolls 6, maybe. Maybe we'll have more than a teaser trailer. Who knows? Kind of hard to imagine though, right? Yeah, I wonder if I can scroll up. Because I missed some chat messages. Sometimes... Oh, there we go. So let's see what I miss. We got... oh, Wild Wasteland. Good to see you, bud. Bethesda games outside of... Yeah, you probably heard my little diatribe just now. Because, yeah, I want to play more of them for sure. Don't know if I would go for Battle Spire or Arena, but yeah, Daggerfall is definitely on the list. Domino's is pretty good. They're probably one of my favorite ones of the, like, pizza chains around here. Although I'm spoiled because we have a lot of really nice Italian places near me, so I rarely go to the chains because we have, like, pretty good mom and pop shops around here. Pizzas compared to, oh, like their pizza compared to others from a local joint. Interesting, because yeah, we have some really good ones that are local to here. Mom and pop shops, yeah. The thing is, like, it has to be like a good mom and pop shop, but we're very lucky. We have a lot of really good ones around where I'm at. Also, we're getting it when it's late. Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, most of them aren't open until like 3 a.m. like Domino's is. Very much catering to the late night crowd. Skyrim was fun. Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say that some people love Skyrim and others were underwhelmed by it. But everyone's different. I mean, plenty of people said the same thing about Oblivion or Morrowind even, where they just couldn't get into them, but they love Skyrim or ESO even. Morrowind, more like Snorrowind Randomizer. That is also accurate. The game is a very slow game. That's part of the challenge, is taking a slow and deliberate game like Morrowind and appending randomizing elements to it. It's a challenge. And again, it really, so much of it is just finding mods for it and then making my own to fill in the gaps. It's not like I've done all of it myself. A lot of it is just finding mods that other people made and trying to find like a gameplay loop that I enjoy, that I selfishly enjoy. Change the Elder Scrolls series. Hope the Elder Scrolls 6 is good. And I mean, it definitely set the series off on a path that some people like and some people don't like. Because some people are not I don't want to say the naysayers, but the people that were maybe not as huge of a fan of Skyrim one of their main detriments to about the game, that they claim at least, is the way that it simplifies all the systems compared to Oblivion and Morrowind. Means that like they're worried that the series is going like more and more simpler and simpler and simpler, to the point where like it's going to be like, where they're saying it's going to get dumbed down, you know, to the point where it's too much, like it's too simple. Because you know, some people like having some depth for systems and games like this. I'm not quite so cynical. I don't think it's going to be like, you know, oh, press the go button to win. I don't think it's going to be that simple. But I understand the concern over a game that is, you know, removed a lot of complexity, a lot of depth, and is rewarded by being the highest selling game in the series by a pretty good margin. So like, I can understand the concern of being like, oh crap, does this mean that we're not going to get another like game I can really sink my teeth into the way I did with Oblivion, the way I did with Morrowind? So since I've never played Skyrim, I can only parrot what other people have told me, and you know, just kind of what I've heard. But that seems to be like the one of the big complaints, like the recurring complaints that I hear about that game at least. But once I find out for myself, I'll be looking forward to experiencing it and kind of forming my own opinions about it, because you know, a game so what's the word, impactful, and so like universally, like not everybody likes it, but like very much influential. Like that's definitely a game that I think is worth me playing, so I can kind of see how I feel about it myself. Got me some pizza as well, Sunflower. I mean, I think we all deserve some pizza at least. How did Skyrim simplify stuff? Yeah, taking away some skills and some spells, and like simplifying the leveling up system. Because like people were saying, there's no more governing attributes anymore. It's just, you know, it's just like destruction and sneak and that kind of thing. So you don't have strength or intelligence anymore. So, and of course they added stuff. That's the thing though. Like they added, you know, depth to the combat. They added like followers. They added like it's not like they're only taking away. They're also adding things. So that's where the cynicism, I don't think, is quite accurate. You know, it's not like the end all be all kind of take. I think I already came through here previously. We'll just re-release Skyrim again. That is the ultimate meme. Elder Scrolls 6 is Skyrim again. Skyrim 2, the same game. I mean, that's the meme. I don't believe that for a second. I'm sure it will be something truly unique. But it is. Oh my! Well, we've uncovered an orgy. And I'm so disappointed they didn't invite me to the orgy. Gee, it's a fuck fest out here. Good lord. Hey, what's up, BDR? Other side of town. Yeah, no, I understand. It's a little bit tricky. Whoa, he hit me instead. What the hell? I have no quarrel with you. I think they're about to win. It's all of them against her. Yep, and... Oh, wait, no, there's two of them. There's two of them. That person was getting staggered, so they knew they were getting desperate. Mellow Mushroom. Oh, Sunflower, I love Mellow Mushroom. That's cool. You've got one near you. We have one here in St. Louis that's a little bit further away. It's like a few suburbs. It's like 20 minutes away. It's like probably 10 minutes away from Gracie's place. That's not too bad. Well, more like 15. But yeah, Mellow Mushroom is really nice. Big fan. I think there's one in Chicago. I think when Gracie and I went to Chicago, we saw one. And we were like, hey, that place is cool. Oh, I disarmed him. Bonk. He blocks the attacks with his fists and is hurty. Now he's dead. New Vegas, Wild Wasteland. Yeah, I definitely want to play the other Fallout games too, because, you know, on the subject of Bethesda games in general, so really just with Fallout games, I've only played Fallout 1. I haven't played Fallout 3. I haven't played New Vegas. I've only played Fallout 1. I definitely want to play Fallout 2, and I eventually want to get to 3 in New Vegas as well, because talk about really good games that are of this game's contemporary that I think I would really enjoy based on what I've heard. Those are on my list too. Because yeah, everybody talks up 3 in New Vegas, especially a whole bunch. So yeah, I know for sure I would love those games. Free with Prime, you're right. I did scoop it up, BDR. I did. More complex with how Oblivion was. Right, yeah. Magic things. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm still salty that I don't have levitation like I do in Morrowind, or blind for that matter, or sound, you know, stuff like that. Stuff is some of the effects that you just kind of lose going from generation to generation. The dual wielding and the physicsy stuff and the shouting, and no more snow. Yeah, that's one thing I've heard too, is that Skyrim you start to feel snow blinded a little bit because you just see the same snowy landscapes all the time. So it's like, for some people they were frustrated by the, like his face is on fire. For some people they're frustrated with the what feels like a samey environment after a while. The short sword of lightning, very, very frightening me. Take your torch. Don't mind if I do. Set in Valenwood, that'd be sweet. It probably won't be. It would be nice though, because Valenwood sounds pretty interesting. I mean, Valenwood, elsewhere, Hammerfall, I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point, honestly. Just something that is not snow and not like standard forest fantasy. Like standard forest fantasy realm the way that Cyrodiil is, because I like this game and I like Cyrodiil, but it feels like generic fantasy land, kind of, sort of. What's up, D-Man? So you like Daggerfall and Skyrim, but you recommend Daggerfall first between the two of them. Yeah, I would say that makes sense too, because yeah, that's the thing too, because like when I was playing a lot of Morrowind on stream, I would have people come in and he'd be like, hey man, I'm glad you're playing this, because I tried playing Morrowind and I started with Skyrim, so going backwards feels weird. And it is kind of weird. So yeah, I fault nobody for saying that going backwards and trying the older games after getting used to the newer games, yeah, it is gonna feel weird. Like, that makes perfect sense. So, you know, I hold no ill will towards those who looked at the old games and went, eh, not for me. New Vegas is a good one. Yeah, that seems like a common thing I hear a lot, is that a lot of people like Fallout 3 or New Vegas, or at least as of a couple years ago, a lot of people really liked either game. They probably liked both, but they favored one or the other. But it seems like in more recent years, more people have nicer things to say about New Vegas as a whole, as like an overall gaming experience. Oh, I'll take that lockpick, actually. So it's interesting to me that the narrative has kind of shifted into being just more like, yeah, New Vegas is like the best one. Even though 3 is still quite good, I'm sure. Fallout 3, but 4 New Vegas. Really, you think 4 is better too? That's interesting, Farsight. Also, Farsight, good to see you. Because, yeah, 4 I know is not everyone's favorite. Apparently it's still a fine game, but like not as many people loved it as much as they loved 3 in New Vegas. But it's good to know that Farsight loved it though. That's nice to hear. The DLCs weren't the best though. Base game was good though. Interesting, yeah, I feel like I've heard pretty good things about the DLC in that game. But that's how it kind of goes with a lot of these different games we're talking about, is that everybody likes these games for different reasons, you know? Like, all the things that I'm saying I am maybe a little bit hesitant about when it comes to Skyrim are the exact reason some people like them, you know, or like Skyrim compared to Morrowind. Oh wow, that was a big blast. Big booty blast. So, you know, what one person might see as a detriment to a game like some of the DLC in New Vegas might be the exact reason why someone else likes New Vegas the most, the DLC in New Vegas the most. So that's kind of what's cool about a lot of Bethesda games. You know, love them or hate them, but there's like a lot of differing opinions on which ones are the best ones and for what reasons. I'm gonna steal your shoes. Yes. I stole his shoes, and now I'm gonna steal his bow. Yeah, I didn't steal his bow. But I am over encumbered, so I'm actually gonna drop his shoes again. Boop. Oh, I shouldn't have stood up. I probably could have continued being sneaky. It might perhaps be in Hammerfell. Yeah, I said Hammerfall. Yeah, Hammerfell. Not allowed to lie on the internet, BDR. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, I've heard people confidently say, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be in Hammerfell," and then the next guy will be like, "Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be in Elsewhere," and then the next guy will be, "Oh no, it's gonna be in Valenwood." Because I mean, to my knowledge, they haven't really confirmed anything yet, but there's indications of like a lot of possibilities. Like it could be a number. There's a number of like very likely possibilities still. So yeah, we still don't know, obviously. went from Skyrim to Daggerfall wasn't too bad for you. I mean, it's different for everybody. Like, I enjoy old games, so I probably would handle it hopefully fairly okay if I were to go that direction. But I mean, at the same time, though, these older Elder Scrolls games have some jank, right? It's not quite like going from Mario 64 to like Mario World or to Super Mario 3 or something like that, right? Because yeah, they're very different games, and one is definitely older, and like one's a different kind of playstyle, but they're both like, you know, considered some of like the greatest games of all time. So like, you know, as long as you are down for like a cool Mario game, you're probably gonna have a fun time. Some people cannot get past the like 3D Mario game thing. Some people are like, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of 3D Mario games. Other people are the opposite. Some people are like, you know what, I'm just not a big fan of the 2D ones. But generally speaking, if you like one, you probably will like the other. But those games are like pretty dang polished, and they're easy to play. Whereas going back and playing Daggerfall is actually relatively easy now, but probably for a while there was probably hard to get running on newer hardware, and probably harder to, like, you know, find a legit copy. Nowadays it's easy, but for a time there, I think it was probably maybe not the easiest to play. Ouch. I was gonna say, oh, what the hell? Oh, somebody shooting me with an arrow, and they just over-encumbered me with that one shot. Let's drop some more things. My inventory is still filling up mostly rapidly. It's you. You are the one. More vampires. Vampire thief. Earlier we fought a vampire hunter. Or I'm sorry, vampire hunter, vampire healer. And I was like, are they gonna heal the vampires? Oh, he's running away. Earlier we disarmed that guy, and instead of trying to pick up his sword, he just went fisticuffs. Bonk. There's more? There's more where that came from? New Vegas, given the proper time and resources. Interesting, because I haven't heard that it's overly glitchy, but if there is some jank, it would not be horribly surprising. I mean, find me a game, find me a Bethesda game, and I will show you a game that could have benefited from more QA and more time in the oven. That's just how it goes, right? That's just part of the experience of playing a Bethesda game. So I hold no ill will about how their games end up, but yes, sometimes they're a little silly about having some growing pains. Apathetic for Fallout, but Fallout 4 was good. Built up every settlement, you loved it. That's awesome. That's good. I'm glad you liked it, because yeah, it makes perfect sense that some people would really like it compared to the other Fallout games, because apparently it does some quite different things. You know, adding the settlement system. Like, some people see the settlement system and go, I don't want this. Like, that's not what they're into. But other people are like, oh, hell yes. You know, they play No Man's Sky, and they want to build the cool bases. They want to, like, build that satisfaction of building something. So that makes perfect sense that some people might really resonate with that. The different gangs you can have and different relations, good and bad relations, yeah. While the province is to be touched, Hammerfell has been completely avoided. It'd be really nice, and it sounds like an untapped potential then. That'd be really nice. Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, yeah. Hell of an experience, yeah. I did the opposite. I went from Ocarina of Time to Link to the Past, and I liked Link to the Past, but I will confess I had some issues with it. I had some, like conveyance issues of where to go next and who to talk to next and a few puzzle solving things. But the thing is, all those words I just said could be levied towards or against Ocarina of Time as well. I have plenty of friends who are not big on Ocarina of Time because they had the same conveyance issues with knowing where to go next and how to solve certain puzzles. So it really just comes down to just kind of what you're used to, really. So it's hard to, for me at least, to you know, see... Oh, enemies are nearby, apparently. To see one or the other as being, like, you know, the true answer or the better choice, when it's all kind of... It's all kind of up in the air, honestly. It's all a matter of personal taste. basically untouched. It would be nice. A lot of vampires. Yeah, it's going to be mostly vampires tonight, I suspect. The ESO does have a little bit, but not much. Some of the things I can drop. I'm just like shedding extra gear that I don't need. Got a lot of potions I probably don't need. I should probably look for those next. Potions and maybe thing out here that I can drop. Not particularly. Cure poison, resist poison. That's nice. Yeah, so we got a lot of expensive things, but a lot of cheap stuff too. Potion of the sea. I was like, well, these are the kinds of things we can drop pretty easily. Poison. I'll drop all three of those. Some poisons we're never going to use, obviously, so. And I have so many arrows. So many goddamn arrows. Some of which are also ring us down. Okay, well, we've freed up a bunch of space, so we're in good shape now. Boop, look at that as they all drop in perfect unison. That was kind of cool. Alright, so I was looking through these things, and apparently there's somebody that knows where we are, but we don't know where they are, because we still hear the battle music. Nothing else. I do have Detect Life. Maybe this will actually reveal some things. Where these people might be located. I mean, if I were to jump up, I could probably get a better vantage point. Settlement system was not great, but the simulator settlements. Oh, okay. Or sim settlements, rather. Those are kind of neat. Interesting. As I haven't heard as much about those. Is that the guy? I think that's the guy. He's got his bow drawn. He is ready for us. Patriarch. This is like the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's finally back to kick some tail. He's a vampire to suck some blood. Now he's dead. Glitches, Obsidian was... Oh, but they were under pressure to deliver. Right, right. Well, that is just how it goes. You know, that is just how it goes with game development. And with, like, high-profile AAA game development, especially. You know, it's one thing if it's an indie game and it's a small studio and, you know, they've got, like, maybe they have a publisher, but the publisher doesn't have, like, you know, gigantic budgets and huge deadlines. But, you know, they got that Bethesda money. And Bethesda, you know, or if they're, I guess if they're the publisher or the developer, but yeah, Bethesda's publishing the game, so, you know, they're pumping money in the game and they want returns on them investments, so it makes perfect sense that there's going to be pressure from the higher ups. It's frustrating because it means the game usually suffers when a game developer is told, I don't care about your damn glitches, ship the game. You know, I don't care about trying to fix the problems or making a better quality experience. Like, we don't care, we just want the money. It's like, that's frustrating because that's what, you know, takes the possibility of a good game and turns it into a, you know, a probably a still good game, but like not its full potential. Because yeah, what BDR described is an unfortunate, you know, common thing, not just in game development, but in software development, but especially in game development, where you've got like competing sides where the developers usually want to fix things and, you know, spend more time with like bug fixes and whatnot. But then the folks at the top are like, nah, man, we want this to release so we can focus on the next thing. We want to start getting our money back. Because yeah, you know, they've been pumping money into the game. I get it. Like, you know, they don't want, the money's going to run dry eventually, so they need to get something back for it. I understand, but it's unfortunate that it tends to swing very heavily in the publisher's favor. In fact, there have been like even sometimes where like maybe a game developer who worked on a game years ago would do like an AMA on Reddit, and somebody would ask them like, oh, did you ever like, do you know about this one glitch in this one game, like this well-known glitch? And 9 times out of 10, the developer would be like, yeah, I know about it, and like our QA department found it, and I wish we could have fixed it because I wanted to, but the higher up said we didn't have budget for it, so I had to work on other stuff. Like, usually the devs are right there with you, right? Like, usually the devs are the ones that are part of that voice. Like, it makes me sad sometimes because a game will get announced, or they'll show a trailer for a game, and what's the YouTube comments section? Game looks like shit because of lazy devs. It's like, I don't know if the I mean, okay, does it ever happen? Yeah, probably. Maybe there are some devs that, you know, truly are not worth their salt, but I'd be willing to bet that it wasn't laziness. It probably was just budget constraints and just like competing priorities and schedule conflicts. It's just like Dungeons and Dragons, right? What's the bane of every D&D game? Is it dragons? Is it liches? Is it undead hordes? Is it orcs? No, it's none of those things. It is schedule conflicts. That is what kills every good D&D party. I've seen it so many times. Same shit, honestly, same shit. Vampire blood will splatter in spurts. If you slice him, if he bites you, it's gonna hurt. Need for profit leads to I know, Elgaso, if there was anybody who knows what I'm putting down, I think it's probably you, my friend. Knowing with some of what's left out or what gets cut. That's a good point too, because yeah, you learn about cut content from games. Like sometimes it's cool, like seeing the kinds of things that didn't quite make the cutting room floor. But other times it's upsetting. It's like, oh man, I wish they would have added this because this would have been cool as hell. One really good example of this is the Stalker series. Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, Clear Sky, Call of Pripyat. Those games have a ton of almost said a bad word. Sorry. Cut content. That's a spicy thing to say if you say it too quickly. Cut content. A lot of cut content in those games that then gets later added thanks to mods. You know, mods have added in some of the content that got lost along the way, but still, it's like, damn, if only this would have been the vanilla game, would have been real sick. But again, that's the nature of the beast, right? It is a constant tug of war. Never finished a campaign, but you're starting. That's right, D-Man. I know you've talked about starting your own, which is very exciting. Lots of dead vampires. The fact that we're seeing a lot of dead vampires and dead Drothmeri followers makes me think that there was like a great conflict that we're only like now seeing. We're like arriving a little bit late to the party. Wonder if there's still more that we can see. Some more juicy stuff. Sunfire loves D&D as well. Yeah, I mean, well, Elgaso was in my last tabletop game, and it was Shadowrun, and it was going well, but schedule conflicts got us once again. And of course, Adam, our DM, has been quite busy. I talked to him not too long ago, and it sounds like he does have some ideas on some other stuff he wants to start up, but he has a very good tendency to have like a lot of things cooking all at once. He's a very busy guy. So, but he's always has cool ideas, and he's always like working on cool projects. You can always trust he's got some cool stuff in the oven. Getting close to finishing a campaign, Sunflower. That's exciting. Can I ask what kind of edition you're playing? Reused assets in the game? Yeah, exactly. But it was a mod that they added. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ever started a campaign? It is a fun thing to play. Playing D&D is very fun, especially for those who are very creative minded and have like cool ideas on what kind of character they want to build, or for a DM, what kind of story they want to tell. I am not very creative, so it's a challenge for me, but I enjoy it a lot. I love the camaraderie with the homies and all that jazz. It's a good time. Get a pre-made game. That's a good point too, D-Man. Yeah, if you got like a pre-made module, that's a really good way to kind of get some experience DMing. And of course, you can kind of homebrew some of the details and change things around as you see fit. Want to kill some bystanders, Elgaso? No. I'm talking about Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop games. Enough about your personal life, Elgaso. I'm talking about, you know, tabletop games, tabletop RPGs. Only heard good things. It is a lot of fun, BDR. Yeah, it's of course hard sometimes to find a group, hard to find a reliable schedule, flexible group. It can be hard keeping everything together schedule-wise, but it can be also deeply satisfying. 5th edition, first season was homebrew. Ooh, that's exciting. Going for a pre-made module, excellent. Then back to homebrew, cool stuff. Not enough people to play. Yeah, that is the challenge. And of course, you can play online with people that you know virtually, but that's also tricky too. Now, what's happening here, by the way? This seems a little bit suspicious, doesn't it? Are you? So this is I think the dude. I think this is the Drothan. Can we talk to you? Oh, I wanted to talk to him. I think this is the... Oh, like how I instantly stole his shit. He summoned a spider lady. You know what? It's a little heavy. So I'm not gonna like hang on to this. I instantly disarmed him though, which is pretty satisfying. I'm gonna drop. Oh wow, this is very heavy. Yeah, Daedra Claymore. Trying to like throw it that way. That way he can't go for it. He's like certainly a strong spellcaster, but he's like not strong enough because he's doing very little damage. So yes, this is the big guy, Frothan Drothon. So the Drothmeri army is done. The Empire has been spared. But what's this all shaking out to be, though? This is kind of suspicious. Blade Turn Hood. What's all this now? .5th edition. Yeah, that was actually what I started as well. Sunflower. 3.5 was my first tabletop experience. And as a result, I love Pathfinder. But I don't always recommend Pathfinder 1st edition because it's kind of antiquated. And I love 3.5, but it's not for everybody. 5th edition is probably the like better choice for most new players. Never had a D&D game not get past level 6. Yeah, I think I've gotten to like level 10 or 12 before. And then it ended at like the point when it was expected to end. So it's not like it died prematurely. Like that's when we chose to end the campaign. But that's the only case where that's happened. I would say Ogasso, for a campaign that I've been in to like get past level 6, it's not a very high percentage. I would probably say like 20% of the games I've played have gotten to that point, and even fewer have gotten to, and I think only one has gotten to level 10. Just the example I gave. So yeah, that's just how it goes. I don't think it's you specifically. Usually, at least, it's several factors. Rarely is it just one person. Yeah, that's what these guys. Yeah, they were just being a couple fellas, a couple dudes. Druids get animal companions. Yeah, they get a lot of cool shit. And then same thing in Pathfinder too, for that matter. Pretty nice. Some of the old school D&D. Oh, like the PC games that like take place in the D&D universe. Druid's the main class. I actually played a druid for the first time a couple years ago, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I did like it. This is a pretty cool robe. Lightning run boots, fortify speed. That's just okay. I think our current boots are better. Shield, reflect damage. That's pretty sick. I'll take your key. Pretty much stripping this poor guy naked. Butt ass naked. Gonna drop some weapons that I don't need. Of which I have several. I'm gonna drop this one, it's way heavy. But yeah, the druid that I played, it was a good time, but it was an adjustment. It was like, I don't know, some classes I really like, some I'm just kind of so-so on. Or some I even dislike. Druid was right in the middle for me. I like spellcasters, so that part was nice. And I feel like I didn't really use the wild shape very much for combat. I mostly used it for like utility purposes, like for sneaking and for like traveling quickly, that kind of thing. So I probably didn't utilize the druid in all the best ways possibly. Like there were probably things I could have done better. Spellcasters usually, yeah. My favorite class is like tumbling rogues, but I never get to play them because all of my friends like to play rogues. So like if I'm in a group, usually we have enough rogues. So I don't really get to play my favorite very often. But like not so much thieving, not so much bow, long distance, more a lot of tumbling, a lot of melee, and a lot of like bouncing around to different melee situations in a single turn if possible. I always find that's very satisfying to pull off, but I've only had to do it, like gotten a few opportunities for it. More for utility, yeah. Yeah, would use the bear. Yeah, that's what I always heard about. I always heard using a bear was kind of fun. But in Pathfinder, bears don't really have the best stats. At least after a certain point, they don't. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe like I waited too long to try it out, but I remember being like, I remember looking in Pathfinder and like looking at stats for some animals and being like, these aren't that good actually. So I found it was just best to just use my other spells and kind of have that be the main offensive focus. Anyway, what's going on here? This is the Nephirigium that we're inside of. Reading Drothon's notes. So he was wait, hold on. by eating the heart of Dagon's champion, I'll be allowed to retrieve the razor. So if I eat the heart to gain its courage, I can retrieve the razor. He suspected there might be some other means of claiming the dagger, but he's unsure how, and now he's dead, so now he'll never know. Bard, cleric, and a gunslinger. That's a cool kind of bevy of character builds. Build characters for the story, which is good. Which is good, yeah. Yeah, I wish I was more creative and better at like writing stories and whatnot, because I'm not very creative with the characters that I make or the stories that I mean to tell. Yeah, it tends to be more of a focus on like what can the character do, and then I kind of go from there. A warlock. Warlocks seem really cool. Warlocks seem really dope. You get some like, because with warlocks you solve the problem that wizards and sorcerers have. Sorcerers not so much, but definitely wizards. Because a wizard has like, you know, 3 spells they can cast a day in level 1. So you're cast your 3 spells, and then you're like, all right, now I'm useless. Sorry, boys. Whereas, like, a warlock's got that, what do they call it? Eldritch Blast, I think. Because a fighter can cast sword infinite number of times in a single day. But wizards are kind of like, yeah, I've blown my load, now I'm done, now I'm useless. But warlocks don't have that, so that's like a compelling kind of middle ground, which I always thought was kind of nice. Barbarians too, yeah. Barbarians do seem like they'd be satisfying to play. Their bread and butter, as it should be. As it absolutely should be. So let's see what this says. Yes, room built around the original site of the Nepharivigium. But Mehrunes Razor. There's the statue of a man. Inscriptions and stonework. So he read the runes, and it says... oh, if he speaks the words, then it causes the razor to materialize. But he can't reach it. Let's search for more clues, he says. He said he discovered more glyphs and more details. To the man entombed here was a champion of Dagon, champion to Dagon, who failed in some great task. The Kine, it says, or Dramora, carved his chest open through flesh, armor, and bone with the razor itself. Stands guard now as a test of those worthy to claim the weapon. So taking this guy out was pretty easy, but the champion might be something entirely else. Ability of the razor to instantly send a struck foe to oblivion through Dagon's wrath. Interesting. He who travels here draws the heart from the chest of the champion and devours it must be worthy to wield the razor. He says he's wary. There must be another way, he says. I must pawn on my next move, but he never got that chance because we fucked him up. Hell yes. Linear versus quadratic scaling. Wizards can warp time, and you're right, yeah, that really is what it comes down to, because after a certain point, you get to do some really cool shit as a wizard. It's just a matter of living past level 1. Because I have had wizards get literally one shot in like the first night of a new campaign from just a very unfortunately placed critical hit from an arrow fired from a goblin archer that just, you know, I've got 5 HP and I take 1 hit and I'm down to 1 HP, and then I get a critical that hits me for 11. All right, time to roll a new character, Alex. Sorry. It sucks, but yeah, it's like they're so squishy. So yeah, the challenge of allowing them to live long enough. They can cast die. Yes, they cast end the existence of what's in front of them. What is this character? I'll ask you, dear viewer, what race do you think this is? Because you'd be forgiven for being like, well, he's purple and sad. What race is purple and sad typically? Sunflower Sky, you got a lot of character ideas. That's awesome. I envy that deeply. I envy that deeply. I wish I had that kind of creative spirit, because I sincerely lack it, unfortunately. But other people have guessed it correctly. The key really is the eyes. The sad, purple Sadge eggplant eyes. The purple skin, not so much. But as far as races that typically have reddened eyes like this, that's kind of the giveaway. So I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. Wood elf, maybe? You're kind of close. It is a dark elf. It is a dark elf, because dark elves typically have the reddened eyes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Alex, they're not usually so purple. Correct. They're not usually so purple. We went a little bit crazy on the character creation sliders to make him look like the awful abomination that he currently is. And by that, I mean the beautiful boy that he is. So this is the champion of Dagon, and he like breathes. He's like idle. Can I push him? Can I like nudge him into the fire? Can I like nudge him away? I realize this is kind of this kind of is what's the word? Immersion breaking, I suppose. Just nudging this guy around. We can talk to him though. Is there anything else before I do this thing? Sadge Maroon is an emote. Oh yeah, that would be kind of fun. Yeah, maybe we could get like a nice bulbous emote of his face, especially with the hair exposed, because the hair really takes it to a whole new level. Like, you think the face is fucked up, the hair really brings it together. Kind of hard to pick up in the dark background. Yeah, fair point. Especially for those of us that use dark mode, which is to say all classy individuals. All right, let's talk to this guy. Misre Faethung? Maybe it's Misery Faethung. I can extract his beating heart, his still beating heart. Listen to that noise. It's little squishy, squelchy noises. The heart is mine, and now I shall consume the still beating heart. Cannibal consumption. Here we go. Dark energy courses through you. Like how he like ran away for a second. He was like, oh shit, this guy just ate my heart. What a fucking weirdo. Is this guy really gonna go down that quickly? You were the champion of Dagon and you went down like a chump. What a lameoid. Oh well, that's okay. Our reward lies in front of us, my friends. I didn't even press the use button, I just walked into it. A chance to instantly destroy an opponent. And there's our exit. Maybe. The Forgotten Tunnels. Warrior eggplant and rueful demeanor. Yep, accurate. Did we get stricken by something? Because we got that dark energy that flowed through us. Drain fatigue. Oh, it's because they gave us the fucking thing. I don't like that. They gave us the common vampire cold again. So now we just have Drain Magicka, just from the poison that he hit us with. And nothing else. Alright, it's fine. The Forgotten Tunnels we go, then. Prion disease. Are you saying that because we ate his beating heart, we've given a fresh new disease now? However, some Skumus is Wasteland. Wasteland knows how to party. Despite the easy fight, it's a pretty good one. Or you think the quest is better? Let's take a look at our new weapon, by the way. Maybe it's really fucking cool. Mehrunes Razor. So the damage is pretty impressive and disintegrates armor and Daedric Banishing on strike. I want to see what this Daedric Banishing looks like. Because yeah, they were saying that as a chance to just send them straight to hell instantly on hit. Cannibals prime. Oh, is that like a thing then? I'm guessing that must be a thing in real life. I think that real life cannibals acquire by consuming human meats. I want to see what's over there. I think I have the AoE spell. Because we have some cool AoE spells. Immobilize. It's probably a... Oh, it's... Target. Enemies explode. That's a fun one. Firestorm, that's probably it. Fire Tempest is, like, fancier, though. There we go. Ouch! Wow, that hurt a lot. Goddamn. Turns out a boulder smacking you in the nutsack actually hurts. Who fucking knew, right? I'm actually gonna go back to that real quick. Heat Blast? No, it was... this one. There we go. It's an IRL thing. Mad cow disease is... Oh, okay, that's like a general... like, term, I suppose. It's this one guy. If I could just grab it and yank it. Just yoink it. There we go. Gonna be real disappointed. Damn it. I'm gonna be real disappointed if this is a dead end. It looks like it has a stone that would slide up and down as a hidden passage, but you can check the map. There's nothing behind there, so it was all for nothing. Ain't that some shit? There's our cool new prize, Mehrunes dagger, or Mehrunes Razor specifically. And of course, we like took a dump on Maroon Dagon's chest in the end of the main quest, so kind of fitting that Maroon's prized possession would be in our possession of all things. So it's a chance to send them straight to hell. I want to see it proc. I want to see the hell banishment happen. And it's going to happen to you, motherfucker. Here we go. Get ready to go to hell. Okay, well, it's going to work one of these days. It just says, Oblivion banishment. It doesn't say what the percentage is. Transmissible, untreatable, and fatal. Oh, doesn't sound good. Normal prion proteins for unknown reasons malfunction and assemble into, ooh, infectious brain diseases. Yikes. Misfolded proteins. Wow. Fatal and transmissible neurodegenerative diseases. God damn. Okay, goddamn, that shit sounds wild. And that explains why mad cow disease is such a big deal. I don't really hear about mad cow disease as much nowadays, but I remember as a kid that was a thing we frequently heard about. Meat recalls and that kind of stuff. Or mad cow disease, you know, causing the chance of infections. Mud crab? Where's the mud crab? Nernroot, for one thing, here's that. I hear battle music and it can only mean one thing. There's a mud crab somewhere, probably. Show yourself! I got this cool stabby boy. Sees a mud crab fight. Yeah, exactly. He's like, what the heck? Here he is. Like, maybe it is proccing, but I'm assuming when I see that wispy thing, I think that's the disintegrate armor proccing. I don't think that's the Oblivion banishment. Where's the banishments? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering Oblivion banishment. Yeah, Daedric banishment, rather. Daedric banishment. You eat a critter with a fucked up protein close enough to your proteins that fucks up your yeah, which makes perfect sense. Eat the brains of your own species. That can happen with livestock. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I guess that's kind of how the mad cow disease thing spread amongst cows, probably at first. I guess that resolves that whole quest. Sundercliff Watch. Check the quest log. Yeah, that resolved that whole deal. So DLC quest complete. Was definitely a thick quest. I think we saw all that there was to see in that area. I took it pretty slow, admittedly, but I think we saw all that there was to see there. We explored all the little side caves. We found the big baddie. We squashed him and his army, what was left of it. And we fucked up a bunch of vampires along the way. So pretty productive day, I would say, all things considered. Chronic wasting disease in deer is another one. I've never heard of chronic wasting disease. That sounds unpleasant. Also, what's the next destination? I would say the next destination is our next Dark Brotherhood quest, which is going to be in Leafrot Cave. So, they're going to... let's see, which one is it? Grave Thugs, Affairs of a Wizard... This one, I think. Leafrot Cave, yeah, we're trying to kill a necromancer who is in the process of turning himself into a lich. So when we get there, we'll have to look for some kind of way to defeat him. Because even though he's not a full lich yet, he's still pretty powerful. So that's going to be a challenge to deal with. Because we'll have to, like, get creative and look for things in his environment. Maybe a phylactery or something to destroy, to weaken him. Make him vulnerable. Chronic, always getting you... That's correct. That's exactly what it does. Deer out here getting turned. Getting turned on a Thursday night. Was it a guild quest we just completed? That was actually a DLC quest. The quest to acquire this cool dagger. Perfectly optional. You know, not exactly a thing that anybody wanted us to do. or a thing that we needed to do, but just a thing I wanted to do just because it was on our list. And the main reason I was doing it here was because we had this quest to go to Leafrot Cave, and I had never really explored this area out in this particular part of Cyrodiil. So I was like, okay, I want to explore a couple of these areas, and this was on our list for a long time, but I never had reason to be out here and out this far east. So this was like a situation of, I might as well knock this out while I'm in the neck of the woods. So that's kind of why we did it. I mean, it's after the main game though, and I would imagine the main game is probably one of the best times to use this cool weapon. Now granted, we'll still have lots of cool encounters in the DLC, other DLC quests, and faction quests. So it's not like we won't have any more combat, but you know, the real big combat opportunities that come to mind have already been seen. Bonk. Hit the necromancer with a big stick until it stopped moving. It's spoken like a true barbarian. That's right, true barbarian brain with the big brain ideas. Elgaso, did you read the 4chan green text story about the group of D&D peoples that made their own character sheets without communicating? And the group gets together and every fucking person made a barbarian? Because that's a good green text story. And like all green text stories, it could be completely made up. But if it is completely made up, it was very well written and like very entertaining to read. Want to play a party like that? Yeah, I like the guy where, because barbarians can't read unless you spend the feat to allow them to read. So one person did that for his barbarian, and he fashioned himself as like the nobleman of the group, like the resident face of the group, or the person that was like the diplomat. But their diplomacy boiled down to beat the shit out of people. And nobody knew magic, but one guy still carried around a wand, and he would save fireball before hitting somebody with the wand, and it's a barbarian, so, you know, their melee damage is absurd. So they would win, you know, they would knock people out and be like, my fireball spell worked, you guys. Oh, here it is. Also, this smells like a place where Nirnroot might be, so I'm gonna look around. Everyone is a rogue, really? That one that's on hiatus? I've never done like an everybody is of the same class or even of the same race kind of game. It sounds like it would be interesting, but also like it would be hard because, you know, that means no clerics. That means no meat sponges, you know, armor sponges, fighters and that kind of thing, or crusaders. No arcane spellcasting, no divine spellcasting for that matter. Now, granted, I guess you still have scrolls and wands, and there are feats you can take that make it easier for you to cast spells and scrolls and wands as a non-spellcaster, but still though, that's exactly how it's gonna be, Jet Dive, or that's the recreation of it. It's big buff, like badass, being like fireball time, motherfucker. Muscle wizard? I don't think I know what muscle wizard is. It's because of, oh, interesting. So it's part of like the setting. Interesting. Power gaming combos from Wizards of the Coast sources. Cast spells with your strength strat. I don't remember that one. God damn, it sounds nutty. Sounds cool as hell, but it sounds nutty. Running multiple teams at once. Oh, that does sound stressful. 2 bards. Interesting. Yeah, multiple bards sounds quite wild, quite different, and yeah, a little bit wild. Not a bad thing though. Not a bad thing at all. But yeah, running multiple teams and multiple groups. That is a logistic headache at best and a nightmare at worst. So I don't blame your frustration, Demon. I would probably feel the same way, honestly. That's just a zombie. And let's poke around a little bit and see if we can find some stuff indicating what this guy is up to. Probably spellcasting and experimentation. And sell the books on various things. And zombie has found me. Lucky me. Bonk. Yeah, fuck you, zombie. I'm so fast. I'm so fast. I'm not used to being so fast. Can I banish you to hell, please? That'd be really cool. Ouch. course, I gotta kill him quickly because he will get his health back. These guys get them health regenerations. Regeneration stations. Not a fan of the zombies. In this game, they are very spongy. Very health spongy and very annoying. So you could be forgiven for not being the biggest fan of them, because I'm right there with you. A few of those things, and they are, especially multiple at once, and it is miserable. The path of transcendence. This is probably what we need to find. The Draugr, yeah, the Draugr are horrible to deal with. I mean, Will-o'-the-Wisp is probably my least favorite in this game. Will-o'-the-Wisps are very much a frustrating experience. Now, granted, we're so high level, we don't really see them anymore, because we would one-shot them most likely. But still, early in the game, they are awful to deal with. Oh, you're not even a big fan of just the zombies in this game, but in general, Sunflower, yeah. Because in this game, the zombies and really most undead are very tanky. And have a lot of health, and they don't do a lot of damage, but they're just annoying. So they're annoying to deal with, but usually it's just an annoyance, so it's not too bad. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, that is a fun one. That is a fun game, and a very, like, charming and, like, lighthearted one. Very much a lighthearted approach to zombies. Hey, what's up, Void? Fooling around with speechcraft. Draugr is starting to... Dude, that ain't no shit, dude. Those Draugr do not fuck around. And they definitely don't care for speechcraft. That is accurate. Draugr, I think, personality stat is as low as it can be, because that's their dumping stat for when you need one to be in the toilet. Anyway, let's see what the article says about, or this book says about this necromancer. See what his weakness might be. So initial findings inconclusive, he says. Says he's trying to achieve his goal or die or lie rotting in this cave, he says. Either outcome will be a welcome respite from the days and nights I've spent toiling without food, water, or any kind of companionship. Now why, though? He says, others would have fallen to madness. But I'm not a lesser mage. Says, so they try in earnest, their hearts and minds are true to the teachings of our great sovereign. My fellow necromancers lack the complete dedication required to achieve that ultimate of goals. To become a lich, of course. Not even Falcar himself can match my sheer tenacity. I wonder if I'm supposed to know the name Falcar. My unwillingness to accept failure on any level... rather, hold on, yeah. To match my sheer tenacity, comma, my unwillingness to accept failure on any level. So, J. Celadian. Join the ranks of the Worm Eremites. Favored by our sovereign above, he says. Interesting. He says he'll sit with honor and obedience at his right hand while those fools in the Mages Guild grovel at my maggot-ridden feet. Okay, we know what this guy's fetish is. A lich must somehow remain bound to his soul, and that connection most commonly manifests itself as a transference of the spirit onto an actual physical object. So a phylactery, then. An urn, a sarcophagus, a crystal phial. One Khajiit fairy tale even tells of a lich who preserved a spirit in the severed head of a wood elf infant. Wow, that's pretty fucked. They thought if they ever had the grave misfortune of facing a lich, they would need only find the vessel containing a spirit form and destroy it, destroying the lich itself. Fools in their folklore, he says. True liches possess no such weakness. And one of the sovereign's worm eremites be bested by shattering a glass vase. The very notion is so absurd as to be comical. It says a necromancer must transfer his soul into a physical vessel, but once that transference is complete, once the necromancer is fully metamorphosed into his lich form, the vessel is inconsequential. So the transference process, he says, has eluded him. Soul remains bound to his gross earthly body, he says. So lame. He wishes to transcend to the state of lichdom. So every tome, the volumes, blind volumes, and necromantic discourse, all useless, he says. Disgusted by the years of wasted life that have been poured into these so-called essential writings. Who would ever wish to animate a month-dead cyrodiilic butterfly or bring life to the rotting husk of a rare albino mud crab? Many months have I wasted away, and for what reason? It says, I'll resurrect an army of deformed goblin younglings and march on the white gold tower itself, he says. That's an ambitious goal. What's up, Cement? Good morning to you as well, buddy. Well, it is technically nighttime. Well, it is nighttime here. It's actually 11:30. But I realize in Europe and other parts of the world, it is quite morning, very much so. And hey, what's going on, Sniff? The emo of the elders. Yeah, he's, I mean, his writing style is very dramatic. I think the kids would call him a little bit extra. But he seems like he really believes in what he's doing. So I admire his tenacity for sure. 6 in the morning for you, Cement? Yeah, that's getting up there for sure. Getting up there, or I guess, yeah, really, it's after a certain point, it's no longer late, then it's just early in the morning. But good morning to you. We're happy to have you here, bud. Probably going to be here. I'm probably going to be streaming for another hour or so. Which I have to get up fairly early for work tomorrow morning. And I went extra late last night when we finished up Faith, the Unholy Trinity. Really good game, but that Chapter 3 boss battle took us a while. I like this line here. My mind has become a cesspool of necromantic waste. Well, you know what they say. You can't spell necromancer without the word romance. So that is accurate. But anyway, cesspool of necromantic waste where reject spells and rituals compete for the honor of finally driving me completely insane. Nobody tell him, but I think he's already there. He says, am I losing faith in myself or my discipline? He says he's no closer to achieving his goal. Maybe I'm studying too hard. Time to party then. Time to get some booze and kick back for a night, he says. Many a night I have sacrificed my prayers to our sovereign for one more experiment, one more incantation. Instead, he needs to rest, state of tranquility, so he may commune with our sovereign and repledge my loyalty, blah, blah, blah. Wonder who is the sovereign for necromancers? Like, who would they worship? Looking for maybe in some crumbling codex that could not be supplied by our great sovereign himself. But he found something. He says, the secret is mine. I was right to forego my studies for a more ardent devotion to prayer. Last night, as I sat in throes of meditation, our great sovereign did indeed come to me. Gave me the knowledge, the secrets of transcendence, more complex and arcane than I could have imagined. And I will never transcribe them into any written work. They have never been recorded. And he intends to keep it that way, apparently. Months of solitude were for naught, as the secret I so desperately sought could only be obtained through direct communication with our great sovereign himself. Cool. He says, soon I'll reach my goal, and I'll be so cool. Through the sacrifice of many innocents, the resurrection of many servants to aid me in my tasks, and the tireless performance of a nearly week-long ritual, completed reconstruction of the Sands of Resolve. Interesting. So the transformation is not immediate. The vessel has been crafted, but my energy force, blah, 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 needs to be transferred. Not even our sovereign was quite certain how long it could take. Varies from necromancer to necromancer. This hourglass must never leave my possession until the transference is complete. I grow more powerful every day, he says, but I'm still quite vulnerable. More vulnerable than he's ever been, apparently. It's the Sands of Resolve. If something were to happen to it, if the hourglass should somehow leave my person, the connection would be severed. I think my work and my life could be eradicated so easily after I've come so close. We were so close to greatness, he says. So there it is. We need to get to the hourglass. Might be a virgin. Those incel necromancers, man. That's how they get you. Or that's how they get got, rather. That's how they get started down their path. He said he'd been without companionship or socialization for months now, so I don't know, man. It sounds pretty desperate. This is my first playthrough. It is Cement Loft. You're correct. I love your screen name, by the way, bud. Yeah, it's my first playthrough. Played a lot of Morrowind throughout my years, but never played this game until earlier this year. We began this playthrough. We finished the main quest a while back, but we're obviously in some Dark Brotherhood stuff right now, so we've got a lot of game left to do. We actually just finished Sundercliff Watch a little bit earlier and got Mehrunes Razor, which is pretty exciting. So, Sands of Resolve we need to find. Hourglass must remain in his person. If I could remove the sands from his person, then maybe that would do it. Maybe through pickpocketing, perhaps. Indeed, through pickpocketing, indeed. So here's our purple friend, our big, sad purple lad. I do have some sneaky gear. So if we're going to pickpocket this fool, I will need to use some sneaky means to not be seen by this guy. So, you might think, oh, do you have a cool robe or a cool, like, shirt of, like, shroudedness that would work? Well, I have some loud-ass armor. This thing right here, Chameleon, 20%, bam. Big, loud, heavy armor that apparently has Chameleon on it. Then, I sneak, nihilism, where is it? Khajiit, there's one. And the other one is 1,030,000. So we should be at 85, I think. I think that's my maximum chameleon right now. 85, we're all set. It's been years since you played it. Yeah, I mean, it's a good game. I'm really enjoying my time with it so far. Since I'm over encumbered. Oh, I must have picked up something a little bit earlier. Well, my inventory is quite full because I keep hoarding a bunch of shit that I admittedly don't need. But that doesn't stop me. So let's drop some of this stuff. Fortified blade, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to use that, honestly. So we'll just drop a bunch of that kind of stuff. Littering potions everywhere. I'll take his gold, I'll take his fire potion. Fire shield potion, rather. So it's not going to be just any old hourglass. It's going to be a fancy one that is on his person. So have to keep our eyes peeled. Still remember most of it. Cement lobster. That's impressive. I remember when I did a casual playthrough of Morrowind on my stream years ago. It was one of the first things that I did that I streamed fully. Also, I should level because it's been a while since I've leveled up. Oh, there's enemies nearby. Never mind. But yeah, I did a casual playthrough of Morrowind years and years ago, and that playthrough was a lot of fun. But it was my first time I had like played Morrowind in like 10, 12 years. And I had forgotten a lot of stuff. I'd remembered still like some parts of the main story. But yeah, there was so much I'd forgotten. It was a little bit embarrassing. Hey, what's up, Pineapple? Good to see you, bud. Magi Fists. Very nice. Hand-to-hand, illusion. Oh, that sounds pretty cool, actually, yeah. That's pretty satisfying. Apparently something knows where I am, but... like, damn, dude. I don't see shit. I think that's where we came from, isn't it? Yeah, that is absolutely where we came from. So let's just start poking around then, because something has seen me despite my chameleon status. Oh, it's you. Sneak attack the Gloomwraith. Wow, one-shot him. That's actually really nice. Oh, it sent him to hell. Hell yeah. Through the razor, he's been banished. Banished to Oblivion. So that's when it finally procced. We got to see the instant kill of Mehrunes Razor. Actually kind of surprised he saw me. I guess these liches are pretty astute. Also, it's weird because I'm chameleoned right now, so I can't really see. Like, I can't see the attack animation, so I'm just like looking at him and he's just losing health. Staff of Frost, that's kind of cool. Look at this poor fella. Rushed. Oh, I don't want to grab the bones, I just wanted to look at them. Grab this poor man's ribcage. Doesn't he suffer enough? Played it so many times. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that, like, this game kind of has that effect for lots of people, because, yeah, I've talked to other people throughout this, you know, streaming this game, throughout this playthrough, that have said the same thing, where, like, this game is a really special one for them. Like, it's a game they've replayed a bunch of times, they've played the story a whole bunch, and they've done the side quests. Is this the guy? No, we need to go to the Hollow, so this is just another standard lich. I was hoping it would proc again and we would instantly murder this guy. But still something apparently knows where we are, because the battle music has yet to subside. But I think it's really cool that this game is, like, really special for a lot of people. For lots of folks, this was their first Elder Scrolls game, which is in and of itself quite special. And of course, it was I want to say a relatively early 360 era game, 360 PS3 era game. So a lot of, like, people where the 360 was their first console, they were kids when it first came out. Like, there's a lot of nostalgia there. I think it's kind of cool. And it's not dissimilar from how Morrowind is for me. I mean, that was my first Elder Scrolls game, and it's a special one for me for sure. Like, I totally get it. 11 years, wow, that's awesome. Oh, wait, 11 years since Skyrim. Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah. I mean, they've been working on other stuff, you know, a lot of Fallout games and all that jazz, and supposedly we'll get Elder Scrolls 6 eventually. I know Starfield is the new hotness right now, and I suspect we'll eventually hear, you know, more of Elder Scrolls 6 once, what's it called? Once Starfield is out and, you know, playable and all that jazz. I'm curious about Starfield, but I'm not, like, in any rush to, you know, to pick it up immediately when it drops. So I'll probably wait a bit and see what other people think about it. And of course, I'm so behind. Like, I've never played Skyrim. Oh, he's claimed another soul. Look at that. So it's counting the souls that it claims. That's kind of cool. I wonder if something happens if it consumes a certain number. So yeah, at the rate that I play games, I tend to be kind of slow when I play games like this, of this scale. It takes me a while to get through them. So maybe by the time I play Skyrim and play Starfield, maybe by that point Elder Scrolls 6 will be out. Maybe. No guarantees. Is it you? Yeah, well, I didn't get the instant send to hell effect like I was hoping for. That coffin is awfully special looking. Somehow that was all considered sneak attacks, even though it was super obvious what was going on there. Do people care about it? I mean, there's a few people that I know personally that are, like, curious about it. Are they popping off about it? Not really. It's more like tepid curiosity, as opposed to, like, super enthusiastic. Whereas lots of people are very curious about Elder Scrolls 6, so... Yeah, like, Starfield, I hope it's good. And I hope it's good, and I hope people like it, but... Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the reception's like, because... A lot of us have been burned by big games launching, and then them being kind of disappointing in some ways. So I think a lot of people are not sipping too heavily on the hype juice, you know? Yeah, so thinks it'll be good. I hope it is. I really do hope that it is. Fallout 4, Skyrim, good gameplay trailer, but yeah. Yeah, but a new world sounds nice. Yeah, that actually does sound appealing, because, yeah, like a new IP that is not Fallout or Elder Scrolls does sound pretty nice, actually. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. Cement Lobster, because it's like new opportunities, or rather, I'm sorry, Piazza was when it said that, like new possibilities, which is exciting. It's actually a pretty cool Curious, but it's very heavy, not really worth grabbing, but pretty neat. This thing is so special. It like just has this glowiness about it. It makes me wonder if that is the coffin that this guy like sleeps in at night or something, or during the day rather, or if it's like the result of graphical shenanigans, like if this was like when our graphics drivers screwed up earlier, if this is like a result of that. Regardless though, I'm just gonna go through the other way, because the other way might be the intended way. Modern games don't hit well, they definitely hit differently. I mean, some people, you know, much prefer the newer Elder Scrolls games and newer Bethesda games. But I mean, I personally, you know, I definitely am of the persuasion leaning more towards the older things, you know, the older classics. Oh. Boop. Ow. It really was that easy. Just walk up and yoink. Caladean is dead. It really was that easy. I wonder what he would have done if we would have tried to encounter him. I'm guessing he would have like you would knock him down and he would just resurrect himself or something maybe. Or it would have just been like a really hard fight. Gotta go to the dead drop. Old sack in the bushes beneath the great oak. Cool. And of course the fact that we were chameleon made that, you know, practically a non-issue, made it trivial. If we didn't have chameleon, that would have been a different kind of aspect, but still, that was just ridiculous with how simple it was. Now I wonder if I should do anything with the sands of resolve. They're weightless, so I mean, you'd think it could maybe do something, maybe. Focus on graphics over the versus gameplay. Some companies for sure. Yeah, there are some companies where it feels like they've you know, lost their way in some ways, but I like to think that it's you know, there's like the possibility for cool things still from AAA companies. I mean, nowadays the games that excite me the most are like the smaller studios or indie developers. But I like to think that there's like still room for AAA games to do innovative things, you know, with big budgets and big possibilities. But yeah, it does feel kind of disappointing. I mean, it's so easy to think of recent disappointments. Games like Anthem, games like Cyberpunk. And apparently Cyberpunk is pretty good now, but, you know, at the start it was pretty rough. And for that matter, Fallout 76, you know, we've all heard that story, how that had a really rough start. But got really good, like it got better. So it's like, sometimes if you give a game long enough time, it'll right the ship. But other times, like Anthem, for instance, not so much. Ooh, BDR's got something for us. Yeah, let's watch that in a second. Let's finish kind of looting through these cave areas, although I think we're pretty much done here anyway. He said it took a lot of sacrifices and victims to acquire. Actually, why do I still have the sneaky gear? I can remove this. Yeah, he had spent a long time sourcing victims for his ritual, and like a several weeks long ritual process to make it all happen. And then we instantly made it go away by just yoinking a hourglass from him. So we got that. Oh wait, no, not that armor. We have the other armor. The better armor, if you can believe it. This one, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is the better armor. You wouldn't believe it by looking at it, but it is. And then... oh, the rings, right. The ring-a-ding-dings. There we go. That's it. Half-baked measures for somebody. Yeah. Yeah, to complete the game 3 months later. It's frustrating. I mean, you know, we've talked about this kind of thing before, because different people have different opinions on it. Because I mean, like, I'm glad that games like Fallout 76 and Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky got better. Like, I'm glad they got better. No Man's Sky, especially, apparently is like really fucking good now. But we all remember, you know, how rough it was that when that launch first happened, and the reception was just so toxic and so unpleasant. A lot of people really felt spurned, and for good reason. Same thing with Cyberpunk, same thing with Fallout 76. I mean, there was some drama, there was some shit that went down, people were pissed, and who could blame them? Because yeah, the devs and the publishers, everyone kind of fucked up. Like, a lot of people dropped the ball on all three of those examples. I'm just glad that, like, it did get a happy ending. I'm glad that we got there, because they could have just taken the money and ran. They could have been like, yeah, fuck you, we're not doing shit. I hate to keep beating on Anthem, but that's like a really unfortunate example of a game that had like a really shiny trailer, had all this like supposed promise. Behind the scenes, nobody and like the leadership team knew what they were doing, and the game was falling apart before it ever launched. Like, it was dead on arrival, and nobody the only people unwilling to accept that were the management. You know, they just wanted to put something out, so they put something out, and it was apparently Garbo. So it's like, it's a shame that didn't have a happy ending that we eventually got. So it's like, I'm glad we got there, but it would have been nice if it wouldn't have taken such a messy process to get to the happy end. Because I remember we had one really long discussion about maybe a year or two ago, where somebody was saying like, well, the fact that me saying that I like that these games had happy endings, it's like, oh, well, that's part of the problem, because now it's telling developers it's okay to release a half-baked product and then fix it years later, or months later, sometimes years later. But the way I think of it is that, like, again, I just think how bad things were, man. Like, the bottom of how things were when No Man's Sky dropped, Cyberpunk, I keep beating on the same three examples, Fallout 76. I think most publishers would look at that and go, I want to not have that happen. I want to start positive and not start in the ass end of negative and then slowly claw my way up. I mean, No Man's Sky recently hit a milestone where they actually got out of mostly positive to very positive on Steam, and it took a long time to get there, because again, that launch was rough. So that's like an example of like the downsides of what happens when you get such a crappy start like that. So I'm hoping that those are cautionary tales that other devs and publishers will learn from those mistakes, but easier said than done, because one thing that we were just talking about earlier, game development is wrought with landmines and potential problems and budget fuckery and publishers changing their minds and investors backing out. Like, there's so much shit that can go wrong during game development. It's a wonder any games ever get made. So I sometimes tend to be a little bit more I don't know if forgiving is the right word, but I try to take that in consideration when it comes to, you know, the toxic shit posts on Twitter that people will throw out when a game is less than great, you know, that kind of shit. Cyberpunk didn't get better, really? Because I heard it's like pretty good now. I mean, I haven't played it, so I don't know shit about it. The No Man's Sky 70, yeah, I think those are the ones that I've seen BDR. Speaking of BDR, let's watch that video. Now let's save real quick because I'm about to alt tab, and alt tabbing in this game can be scary. Can be very crashy. Custom spells, cement lobster, yeah, that's like those are the kinds of things I think I will miss when I eventually play Skyrim. As we were just saying earlier, some people like the things that they added in Skyrim and don't really miss the things they remove. But I think the things that they removed will make me more sad than the things that they added will make me happy. So for me personally, it might be more of a net loss, a net negative. But for others, it's a net positive because it's like they didn't really care too much about the custom spell casting, or, you know, the spell effects that got removed, or the armor pieces that got simplified, or weapon types like spears going away, or in Skyrim, the fact that they got rid of like governing attributes, so like those systems are easier and simpler. Like, some people might not care about that shit, honestly. Mario Party Superstars, yeah, I've heard that one's okay. Yeah, the Superstars is like a kind of a compilation of sorts. I was thinking more Super Mario Party. What's up, Pelican? What if they release another hot mess? Well, I mean, I guess the Wii U could have been argued as being a hot mess. I think the Wii U is not a bad console per se. It was like weird timing and weird marketing and just kind of a weird thing that they did, but it wasn't bad. There were some games on there that were just kind of so-so, but some very good games on it. Also, Stoats, good to see you, buddy. The stupid videos, yeah, I only get the Morrowind parts. I guess I get the Oblivion ones too nowadays, but I mostly get the Morrowind ones, admittedly. Where do we go? I think they said it was it Chainhall for the dead drop, or was it Coral? We're going to Coral, that's where we're going. Super Mario Party, I've heard it's like, I've heard most people like Super Mario Party, but some people not so much. Stoats asks how fairly. I fare fairly well. Thank you for asking. We're playing more Oblivion. This is actually our first Oblivion stream in like 2 weeks. We took some time off to play some other games. Did some Majora's Mask Randomizer, which I know you stopped in on for a little bit. Played some Faith, the Unholy Trinity, an extremely good horror game. That was a really good experience. Still playing lots of stuff. By the way, Stoats hitting us with the resub. Thank you, buddy. That's very sweet. You're a kind soul and a scholar and a gentleman. Thank you, buddy. Story was not great. Remove that. Yeah, exactly. Like, those are things that will probably make me sad. Says it's that time. So Stoats says it is that time. He says, prepare thine booties. My booty is ready for you, Stoats. Always and forever. It's like in a hollow thingy. Oh, old sack. Bitches don't know about my old sack. 500 gold was our payment. The Pogbert. I mean, Pogbert is alive in our hearts, in our dreams, and our memories. Oh, gosh, so it still counts. But thank you to Stoats. That's very kind, dude. 19 months, by the way. Holy shit. That is a long heckin' time, if you ask me. God dang. Affairs of a Wizard. Let's get the next contract for the Dark Brotherhood. The Dank Brohood. So, from Lucian, still. From Dark Brotherhood, from Lucian Lachance. Directly from him himself. Kill every member of the Draconis family. Oh my, that sounds odd. We've probably met some of these people. Family matron, Perennia. Farm known as Apple Watch. That's an odd name, but cool. Find out as much info as I can on the locations, and then systematically murder them. Alright, well, that is our next marching orders, it would seem. Actually, curious if there's other deets. At drop number 2. And the Necromancer Caladean is dead, and you are not. That is an accurate statement. Remember these names. Yeah, I was gonna say, I have a feeling we're gonna need to, like, go back to these names frequently. Make sure we get the right people. What's up, Shoegaze? Good to see you, bud. Perennium. Oh, it's Perennia. Yeah, sorry, I was saying the wrong name. Not 1 target, but 5, he says. Like how when he wrote this dead drop, he knew we would be successful. He had that much faith in us. Would be really awkward if somebody else stumbled upon this dead drop, though. It's like a geocaching, but with order to murder. So most locations are unknown. Begin your search with perennia. Yeah. Systematically eliminate them. Speak with the mother. Find out if she has any valuable intel before ending her life. Brutal. So, and then we have the next dead drop location, right? Well, continuing reward. Cool. Cool. Your perennium is your gooch. Is that what that is? Really? I never knew what that word is. Who is the first dead drop quest? It's at the top here. Caladean. The dead drop victim, I suppose. Scientifically speaking, that is the name of the gooch. It's a fun word. Well, the word gooch is fun to say. Also, I should sell some things. That'd be a not bad idea. In fact, the best place to sell things is not here, but the Imperial City. So I'm gonna hop over there real quick like. Real fast like. We're so fast. And our... Oh, you need some... You need a single coin out of my... like 150,000 gold pieces. I think I can manage. I was just admiring our cool like red glowy blady boy. It's so cool and red and glowy. And it is fun sending things to hell with it, sending things to Oblivion. So we're going to, I think it's the Merchant's Inn rather. Scooch your fat gooch over. That's correct. You can scooch the gooch.
Hail. Whatever you need.
Hello, fellow dark elf that looks exactly like me, precisely.
In all Cyrodiil.
Oh, really? They would call it the gooch as well? That makes me happy. As like official medical terminology. Officially, we call this the gooch. I've also heard it referred to as the grundle, which I don't know why it's called that. I think Grendel was the name of the monster in Beowulf, so I don't know what that's going for, but I do appreciate it. I sell all these arrows. We were hanging on to them because they were like fairly valuable, but now I'm just selling them to make some monies. Money that I desperately do not need.
That's a...
I mean, some of these are pretty impressive. Like, look at that shit, man. That's... If we were an archer person, this would be dope. Look at this shit. Arrow of Withering. You see all that crap? God damn. It's actually not very impressive, but it's a lot of things.
That's a fair...
And of course, the other ones, yeah, we'll just go ahead and sell, just because we might as well. Dagger of Blazeit, Inferno. This we keep, because that's ours for the taking. I will hang on to Shadow Hunt in case we do need to shoot things with arrows, but I don't intend to ever use it. I can help it. Fine transaction. Smooch the gooch, that's right. Paralytic Evasion. Wow, that's actually impressive, Ogasso. Usually it takes like several in-game days. Grendel, but Grundle could be direct. Yeah, I just wonder the etymology of the Grundle. And yes, the Grundle, not it requires the proper nounification to really appreciate it in all of its splendor. Ring of Night Eye, resist normal weapons, resist shock. Resist shock is not really an issue. Let's get rid of that. The Black Band, light armor, security, magic. That one's okay. Normal weapons, reflect damage. Oh, reflect damage. Ooh, damn, that's pretty compelling. Shield as well. Damn, that's actually pretty sick. I might actually start using this instead. It's pretty compelling.
That's a good deal.
Resist magic. I think I can yeah, let's... well, it doesn't have resist magic on it. Maybe I'll hang on to it for now. El Grundle, yeah, if there's maybe there's like an old wives' tale that involved a it sounds like the name of like a little goblin lad, like some kind of little gremlin. Fortify fatigue and resist normal weapons. All this resist normal weapon stuff. I think I'm just gonna sell this one. I can't really see myself using this because it has no defense to it. I have 3 of these things apparently. I can only wield 2 of them at a time, so keeping 3 is unnecessary.
You got a great deal there.
Just paralysis, chameleon, resist normal weapons. Is our imperial armor that I don't really have the heart to part with, at least not yet. Acrobatics and sneak, detect life and marksmanship. Yeah, I don't know. Marksmanship we wouldn't use and detect life. Nah, I think I'll get rid of that one. Acrobatics and sneak. Acrobatics and sneak is a hard maybe. It's not half bad. Security and luck. It's okay. I guess I'll hang on to it for now. Security is unnecessary though because we have the skeleton key, so we don't care about the security skill. So actually, maybe I should get rid of this one. Free up some space. What's our current gloves? Oh yeah, that's way better. Yeah. I mean, luck, well, 8 points, 8 points, 8 points. Luck 13 is not bad, but I think I will get rid of him. Resist poison, no thank you.
That seems a fair price.
And then that has no value. Yeah, I might just sell this actually, because this is resist magic 25%, defensive 12. That is less good than this, because this does all that and then some. Got banned from Modern Warfare. Oh wait, this person you used to work with? Got some at he got banned because he went to the Activision. Wait, hold on. I probably missed something. I'm sorry, BDR. Was there something else? There was probably another comment. Just a random dude. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. When you said this dude, you don't mean like the previous dude, a different dude. Yeah, I think I've heard about that. But yeah, there's been a lot of like issues of players being banned from the new Modern Warfare game, and Activision has been like really slow sifting through the unban requests. So yeah, I've heard about people going to the offices and like demanding to speak with managers and shit like that. And I mean, that just seems like a bad idea, but fuck do I know, right? Like, I mean, I guess if they want an answer that badly, who am I to turn them away? It just seems maybe ill-advised. Perhaps just a smidge. Spell turn, cloak. Yeah, reflect spell, resist magic, spell absorption. Pretty cool stuff, honestly. Human blood. I still have the human blood. For the ones you love. Or in this case, if the one you love is your Modern Warfare 2 account, then yes. Then yes, that is accurate. Poison of slowing. Cure disease. Dedication. Restore willpower.
A fine transaction.
Fine transaction. Wait, those are... Yeah, those are actually pretty good. I'll hang on to those. Look at these things, though. The idea of a potion being worth that much is crazy to me.
That's a good deal.
50. I don't think I need 15 healing potions. I'm going to sell, like, 7 of them. Resist fire 40%. We definitely don't need that since we already have pretty good resist fire ourselves. 18. We don't need 18 of these. I'm going to sell 8 of them. 10 is probably enough as it is, honestly.
A fine transaction.
These are interesting. Cure poison and resist poison 500 or 100% for 5 seconds. I guess I'll hang on to it for now because that could maybe be useful, but if we ever find ourselves in an environment where there's just poison out the bing bong. I don't expect bing bong poisons, but I've been wrong before. Kicked for an activity a few times while he was actively... Really? That's pretty fucked. Yeah, it sounds like the Modern Warfare 2 problems... It sounds like there are legitimate problems that, like, Activision needs to address. And, of course, the game has been very popular, so a lot of people are playing. But if there's a glitch that's... Or glitches that are causing people to get banned, you know, incorrectly, and it's only affecting maybe, like, 0.1% of players, well, that's still a lot of people, so they need, like, some way to sift through those and deal with them, because that's a great way to alienate your player base. So it happened with Destiny 2 specifically, as Destiny 2 had like something similar like when it first launched, where people were getting banned through like invalid means. Like people were being banned when they shouldn't have been, like they were being accused of cheating and they were playing perfectly vanilla. And then when the people that got wrongly banned tried to reach out to hold on. Who would be? I guess that would be Bungie. I guess Bungie It was also kind of under Activision, but yeah, when they reached out to Bungie, the people running the show, they're like doubled down and said, no, we are 100% confident that you were cheating, and that's why we banned you. And then eventually they walked back, like after all kinds of scrutiny and bullshit, they finally admitted, like, all right, there are problems on our side. We're sorry, like, you got us. And it took a lot to hold their feet to the fire, because they were just unwilling to consider that there could be a problem on their side. It was just a whole thing. And to this day, there are people that are like, man, fuck Bungie, because they really screwed us over there. You know, people that bought the game that were unable to you know, play the goddamn game they bought for no damn reason. It's silly. Fallout 76 did as well. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Banning people whose accounts got right. Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, that was probably in the same video we saw, BDR. The same one we were talking about earlier. Shit's crazy, man. It's complicated. It's complicated. Like, it's complicated managing all that kind of shit and managing a community of like an online game and trying to keep out the hackers and not try to hit honest to goodness players in the crossfire, and trying to sift through people that have been hacked versus people who are intentionally hacked. I mean, I understand it's a complicated situation, and I feel for the devs and the community managers that try to, you know, sometimes in vain to make sense of it all, but like, you know, in the Bungie example, at least admit when shit is fucked, right? Like, don't try to double down and be like, no, we did nothing wrong. It's like, that does nobody any favors. To me, that smacks of just, you know, what's a good word for a good phrase? Just the right hand not talking to the left hand. Like, that was a case of just improper communication within the company, probably, or within different teams within the company. It's wild just how that shit happens, man. Absolutely nutty. Soul gems, sell all of it. Got 15 of these puppies too. I'm almost done selling things. We've gone through a lot, and I've held a lot on my person. A lot of things to sell. We're almost done.
A good price for a good.
Never bothered with 76. Neither have I. I don't think I own it, although it might have been in a humble bundle at one point, or it might have been in a Prime Gaming, you know, bundle or game drop at some point. But no, I would be more inclined to play Fallout 2 and then get to 3 and then New Vegas. 76 does not interest me terribly much, although I've heard the game is quite good.
For a good customer.
So for people who wanted to play it and were put off by the, you know, unsavory stories that were told about the game, apparently it's pretty solid right now.
Be seeing you.
MMOs, yeah, exactly. Because yeah, I think that was one of those factors you're describing, D-Man, is an issue that was happening previously. Is that, yeah, it was too easy for griefers to cause problems. But I think they've added more controls nowadays, which is nice. So, Perennia Draconis, we're going to Apple Watch, which is a very, like, wholesome and innocent sounding place. Apple Watch. I bet if I just look on my compass, it'll point me in the general direction. Did I just miss it? As it should put a marker on the map. Oh, you know what? I bet it's pointing me to an outside. Oh, it's up here. Yeah, it was pointing me here because it's pointing me to the door to leave. Yeah, that's what it's doing. So it's actually up north then. And I have been here before. Apparently, I have been here. Apple Watch. They track your... God damn it, Pelican. I can't be mad at you. As much as I want to be mad at you, I cannot be, because that's very, very funny. God damn it. Yeah, this would have predated the Apple Watch, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, it would have... Well, actually, this would have predated... This game would have predated the iPhone, for that matter. Because 2006, and I think the iPhone first generation was 2007. Yes, I remember this, because I remember seeing this lady, and we couldn't talk to her about anything, because it was before we had this quest. This game predated the Apple. Well, yeah, exactly. If it predated the iPhone, then it predated the Apple Watch by at least a decade. So maybe what happened is that Steve Jobs I know, this is a dumb thing to say, but Steve Jobs was playing Oblivion one day and he saw that and he was like, God damn, that's a good idea. And then he stole it. Heartlessly stole the idea.
Oh, hello there. I'm sorry, you startled me. My nerves get rattled rather easily these days, I'm afraid. Living alone will do that to you.
So BDR was here when we
Now,
first tried talking
is
to
there
her, right?
something I
Yeah,
can help
she
you with?
probably didn't have anything to offer, and now we have a couple options. This is such an ominous thing to open like a conversation with, isn't it? I'm looking for your children. I know, BDR. Look at us now. We're all so much older and wiser now. We can go ahead and promise death, or we can say, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for your children," which is such a creepy thing to say. Or we can say nothing. But I'll go for, we either be creepy and say nothing, or we be creepy and say what we're looking for. I guess I'll go the creeper route.
My children? Whatever for? Oh dear. Excuse an old woman's stupidity. You're here to pick up my gift list.
Yes, I'm doing Christmas shopping.
Using your gift service was the smartest thing I've ever done. My children are spread across Cyrodiil, and it's so hard to shop for them all.
Yep, that's what I'm here to do.
So
I'm a
here's the
modern
list
day
of
Santa
all my
Claus.
precious little ones, though I dare say they're not so little anymore. They grow up so fast, I swear. You'll notice that the list gives each child's location and some suggestions for gifts. Oh, and here's the gold I'm supposed to give you. Now please go. Those children are so dear to me, and I'd really like you to get them something special. Thanks again.
Oh, we're going to give them something special. Yeah, I need to work on the evil laugh. Not very sinister. Map marker added. I think the game is trying to say, yeah, murder her. She's such a nice old lady. She's like, oh, sorry, I'm just a little rattled. I'm an old woman, you see, and I'm toiling away in the fields. And I just love my children oh so much, and I sure hope nobody murders me to death. So it's like Stoats was saying, that sometimes you're just an evil dude killing people, and you're just a bastard when you're in the Dark Brotherhood. We don't know who put a hit out on this poor, wholesome lady and her entire family. We don't know who done it, who set us out to do it, rather. All we know is we have a job to do, and that is what we shall do indeed. So, of course, this weapon is the ultimate, backstabbing sneak attack thing. But I feel like using the Blade of Woe is fairly appropriate given the Dark Brotherhood origins of this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and save in the off chance that like something weird happens.
By the gods, there's a psychopath on the loose.
Okay, well, actually, it was kind of disappointing. What if I banish her to hell? Would that be sufficient? I'm gonna damage your weapon that you don't have. I give up. Guys, I'm a very good assassin. The way I let people run away like this. Let's get the pupper. Jake. Blade skill increased. Alright, well, I hate to report she did not get sent to hell. A little bad killing the wolf. Actually, if we're being honest, it was probably, like, not a wolf, but probably a dog. Oh, she had a hoe, a rake, and a scythe. None of which are weapons. Yes, I'm a very good assassin. Look how I cleanly executed this person, and it wasn't a fucking hack job. And also, I might have stabbed the door, but the door had it coming, alright? You saw the door. It was up to no good. It came out of nowhere. Where's the evidence, lady? I will not rest until I find evidence to justify me killing you. Anybody have any, like, illicit substances I can plant on her so I can make it seem like me killing her was okay? I'm, like, grabbing shit, I'm shaking it down. I was like, where's, like, some skooma or some sacrificial blood or human blood vials or something? Actually, that's what I have. That's what I can do. I can plant this human blood on her. There we go. I'll plant the human blood on her. And then anybody who happens upon her dead body, they'll go, dear God, this woman was up to some fucked up shit. And I can be like, yes, she was. Actually, I'm going to take this back. Never mind. An illegal cheese wedge. Woman, do you have a license for this lettuce? Do you have a license to carry this lettuce? Oh, right, she's dead. I can't talk to you anymore. But yeah, an illegal cheese wedge. Harboring lettuce without a license. Farming cabbages without a license. Without paying her farmer's license fees. That's just asking for trouble. Put some skim on her. Yeah, if it was Morrowind, I would say I would sprinkle some moon sugar on her and get the fuck out of here. Let's sprinkle some crack on him and get the hell out of here. Well, the good news is we're going to take very good care of her children. Very, very good care. Oh, here it is. We can say she was a witch. It's like Puritan times all over again. Yeah. She was a witch. That's why we had to kill her. Yeah, she tried to ride her broom. It got weird. Yeah, we had to do it, man. I didn't want to, but we just had to. So she said her children were sprinkled all over Cyrodiil. She thought it was the delivery person she hired to buy gifts for her children. She also gave us money. Good lord, she's paying us to kill her kiddos. Hey, what's up, Five Finger? Five Finger says, Alex, what the hell had just happened? You're planting a broom on a supposed witch. You're talking about illegal cheese licenses. So, Matthias, the Talos Plaza in the Imperial City, Andreas and the Drunken Dragon Inn, Sibilia in Muck Valley Cavern, and Celia in Castle Leowen. Completing another contract. Yes, and I'm completing it with 0 issues and with full finesse and expertise of indeed a master assassin. No more, no less. So let's start with the Imperial City first. We'll go like based on the order in which they're listed here. So Talos Plaza. Just go to the Imperial City, because it'll be obvious. Oop. It got weird. That narrows it down. Exactly. Your face is an illegal cheese license. Okay, well, I'll say this much, Flatfinger, in response to that. If someone's face, or I'm sorry, if someone has cheese, and the cheese looks like this, then yes, that is illegal. If your cheese looks like this, you should be arrested. Or the person who sold you that cheese should be arrested. And by the way, I think I might actually switch to this one. Because this helmet, intelligence, willpower, and luck, well, actually, those are pretty good. Those are pretty compelling. And it does give defense. Not much, but some defense. But this gives more defense, and reflects damage, and resists normal weapons. So that's pretty compelling. What do we lose? We lose intelligence and willpower, so we lose some offensive capability. We get a lot of really good defense, like real good defense. That is tempting. We'll try it. We'll see if it makes that much of a difference. The illegal sweet roll. Yeah, well, no, I was awarded that sweet roll by the baker for helping him out. I promise it was legit. Reference, of course, to the Morrowind introduction sequence. Look how fast we are. We're so fast. Let's find the dude. Is he out and about, or is he... Is it you? Are you the person? He is the person. Snort, he says. Hold on, actually, let's check the list. I'm kind of curious what gifts he wants. Except I forgot what it was called, like the name of the piece of paper that had the gift ideas. A master baker? I sure hope he was master baking. Although we are in No Nut November. So maybe master baking is not the best idea right now. It's either No Nut November or Non-Stop Nut November, depending on who you talk to. I know you're in here somewhere. Letter with information about gifts for people. What if he wants like a tasty apple and I've got these poison apples I can give to him? Wouldn't that just be great? Oh, here it is. Draconis gift list. So delighted when a friend recommended you. Yes. Yes, I'm gonna be of great service. He's a fisherman, so he's very good at baiting. He's a master baiter. Well, that makes much more sense. That's much nicer. And demon with the nut. Speaking of non-stop nut November. Nut. Now we have all failed No Nut November. a fan of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. So so Grace and I did watch all of House of the Dragon. We finished it a few weeks ago when the new episode dropped, or last episode dropped. And I would like to watch Game of Thrones, the original series, but it's very long, obviously. There's a lot of content to watch. And Gracie has seen all of Game of Thrones, and she's not sure she's up to watch all of it again. So I would need to watch it on my own. But I do want to go back and experience the original series. It does sound nice. Of course, I know that there's a lot that's been said about the final season, but I think up to the final season at least would be worthwhile. Want some delicious fish now? Because of... because of the master baiting. Correct. Yeah, for those who are masters at baiting fish very well. Yes, that is definitely what we're getting at. My children, darlings that they are, deserve the best. I'm afraid I haven't been able to properly show my love and appreciation for a few years. So Matthias has a home there. Rough and tumble lad. Fallen in with some pretty tough characters in the Imperial City. It would be nice if I knew he was well protected, so get him a nice cuirass, nothing too light. Engraved with, "To my dear Matty, I'll always be here to protect you." Aw, so wholesome. Andreas owns the place, the Drunken Dragon Inn, and lives there as well. Brewing his own beer and spirits, very nice. Maybe he would want a nice tasty poison apple. Bad ending, yeah, exactly. It's not about the end, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. That's kind of how I've heard it described. House of the Dragon, I liked it by the end of it. There were parts during the middle of the season in House of the Dragon where I was like, I don't know, like there were like character motivations I didn't quite understand. I still don't quite understand. And like things that went a certain way that seemed odd to me or inconsistent. So like there were things that I just wasn't sure I was getting, and I chalk it up to just not really being familiar with Game of Thrones, because again, I never watched the original series. But by the last couple episodes, I was like, all right, I think I'm vibing now. I think I'm starting to kind of get it. Too big for its own good, yes, and for the books too. Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a very popular series like that at least from a TV perspective needs to end kind of suddenly, and the source material well has dried up, then yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. So it's no surprise that it ended on a less than great note, but still, again, the journey, not the destination. It's like the cool things that we got to experience along the way hopefully makes it worthwhile overall. Get him some new tavern glasses, very nice. Yes, because he opened this cool new bar. He says opening that inn was the happiest day of his life. Muck Valley Cavern. Yes, my daughter lives in a cave, and no, I'm not very happy about it. She is a cave-dwelling goblin, and she is the disappointment of my whole family. Okay, she didn't say that part. She's always loved animals, almost as much as Andy loves beer. So she wanted to abandon the empire and live as a savage with the rest of the animals. And she's kind of cracked. She's basically as wild as the beast she lives with. What can I do? I'm her mother, and I'll always love her. She doesn't want or need anything from civilized society, so what I'd like to do is find a tanner and secure the largest fur blankets you can possibly find. Last time I saw her, she was nearly naked, and I can't imagine there's much in that cave to keep her warm. The wild animals are bad enough, but Libby herself will probably attack anyone on sight. Could be self-defense anyway, then. Don't envy Martin. Yeah, I don't envy George R.R. Martin for trying to wrap up the books, and I don't envy the writers for the TV series, given the impossible task of trying to come up with a non-book written ending for season 8, because yeah, it seems like that was like destined to, maybe not fail, but destined to disappoint. Every family has at least one. I think in some ways, BDR, I might be my family's one, in some ways. So Celia's in the barracks. Dearest daughter broke so many hearts when she was younger, but now she's an officer in the Imperial Legion. And she's let herself go a bit. Not gotten fat, but by Mephala, not that, but she's settled into a more practical kind of look. Maybe a bit boyish. Get her some girly stuff if you can. Flowers, perfume, Nord chocolate, anything, please, she says. You received half your fee in advance, right. Very good. The flavor text, man. The flavor text is fucking wild, dude. All right. Hello,
Yeah?
it's me.
What are you looking at?
Oh, nothing. I'm looking... Oh, say nothing.
Okay. Well then, I'm going to go about my business. And stop staring at me, would you? You're giving me the creeps.
Imagine like tapping someone on the shoulder and being like, "Hello," and they're like,
Yeah?
"Yes, what do you want?"
What
and
are
then
you
you just
looking at?
like you just T-pose and say nothing, and they're like, "Okay." He told the writers the ending that they went. Oh wait, hold on. Is that he told the writers that the ending that they went with? Oh wait, hold on. I'm trying to understand. So he told them. Oh. Right. So you're saying that he gave some feedback for the ending that he like recommended, and there was bad feedback. So you back to the drawing board. Oh, interesting. So I wonder what he originally had in mind then, because if the ending we got, I don't know a whole lot about the ending that we got, but if the ending that we got was that bad, it makes me wonder if it could have been even worse. As far as these two, this one sounds more poetic.
What? A dead man? You got some kind of death wish, is that it?
Okay, well that was
Yeah?
disappointing.
Slave of what? Oh, all right then. You're some kind of crazy, is that it? Come here then. Show me what you've got.
Oh, I thought we were gonna fight.
Help! Help! I'm being attacked!
Oh heck, I should have saved. Let's see, I do have stolen goods on me. Let's think about this. Can I get over to the dude? You know what? I'm just gonna do it this way. Yeah, I forgot that, you know, if you would openly attack somebody, you're gonna get a little bit hecked. I did save after I dispatched the lady. Yep. That's all resolved. Let's just warp back then. Yeah, I should probably save before I try this, because even though like we instigated the fight. Oh no, we did not instigate the fight, like consensually. This dude, we did start the fight ourselves. We did start the fight ourselves, so yes, technically we were at fault.
You have my ear, citizen.
Maybe I should like follow him to like his house or something. The age word, I know, an uncensored heck, so scandalous, Five Finger. Professional assassin, yep, master assassin, that's me. I am pretty cool, all right. So yeah, it's good to know that when you, even if you're like kind of far away, the guards can still overhear. Kind of makes sense because they are the Imperial Guard after all. Oh, it's just a theory though. I got you. So we don't know exactly how it truly went down then. A Dream of Spring might be the next one. It's a dream because we're not sure if he's gonna write it. I've heard people express frustration at the speed with which he writes books, or does not write books, really. I mean, he wrote several, obviously. I mean, you know, there's a bunch of Game of Thrones books, but I've heard people say that, like, yeah, he takes a sweet time. He goes to Umbacano Manor, of all things. All right, so apparently he has a house here. Let's see if we can find his house. I can just wait for him there. So it's over her.
What do you need, champion?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm also on the champion of Cyrodiil, so yeah, it's kind of bad form if I just go around openly attacking people for all to see. And it's open, which is kind of curious.
Hi there. A pleasure to speak with you.
Going into a project knowing that you're going to get massive. Yeah, I'm sure they knew. I'm sure they were bracing
Of
themselves.
course the Blackwood Company is violent. That's what fighting is, isn't it? Violent.
Can't use the fallback. Right. It's all in them, and I mean, you know, given the tools that they had at their disposal, and you know, limited source material, and also apparently limited time, because I think they originally were gonna make it like 10 episodes, but they ended up making it like 8 or something. Yeah, it's like there's all these signs that point to, it's no wonder that it turned out this way. It became disappointing. So now it's nighttime. You alright, buddy? Sound a little congested. So he had a buddy who was down here, but his buddy is no longer here. So I will whoopsie-daisy this door open.
Sorry, friend. It looks like you've wandered into a restricted area.
Oh, you're right. This is a restricted area. Sorry about that. I'll be more careful. Let's get my sneaky gear. What? Yeah, he still sees me. Dang it! It's sometimes hard cornering these people for like a quick and like isolated death. Let's get the other sneaky things. Snuggling up for sleepy times. Now, the question is, will I be able to do this in such a way where it does not disturb the other person? That is the question. 3/4 of the winds of the winter, which is nice. So we finish it. Yeah, that's the thing too, is, you know, he's not exactly getting any younger. Excuse me?
It's all over, lawbreaker. Your spree is at an end.
Where did you come from?
Stolen goods you have.
Where did you come from, dude? Wow, he was like ready. Was he like standing outside their room? He like teleported in. A lot of people have talked a lot about in Cyberpunk how like the guards or the police rather will just like teleport to you. They'll just like automatically teleport to you when you like when you do something wrong, like you know you shoot a bystander, you commit a crime, and no matter where you are, you're on the top of an unclimbable building and they just suddenly spawn there. That's exactly what just happened there. That was ridiculous. I'm using stealth. Exactly. I'm being sneaky. BDR, that is a very appropriate emote to use. Holy shit. Yeah, and it was weird because I kept slapping at what I thought was them, and I was like not making any progress. It was very strange.
By the gods, there's a
So that was the key, is like finding a time when he's completely by himself and nobody can hear the cries of murder happening. Chamuel lore and his key, and some gold and a torch. The absolute favorite. Oh, I think I might know which one it is. Puzzle. Well, was that the Whodunit quest? Because the Whodunit quest was quite good, and I can see why it was a lot of people's favorites. It was a very good one. I took lots of notes. I was very studious as I did that quest. They just like spawn in suddenly. Oh, in Cyberpunk, that is, yes, because that is reminiscent of what we just saw earlier. At least he walked in the door. Yeah, presumably he walked through the door. It was so instantaneous, so it looked like he just teleported in. Adore that quest. It's a good quest. Yeah, that was really neat. I honestly wish there were more quests like that in this game, but it was a nice surprise for something like this, because I wasn't expecting oh.
It's all over, lawbreaker.
I guess they just... I'm gonna... I think if I resist arrest... Because I don't want to give up my stolen goods is the thing. That's why I'm like resisting. The gold is inconsequential, but I don't want to give up the gold. Or the stolen items, because I need to fence them to the Thieves Guild. But yeah, it was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting a quest like it in the game, and I'm so glad that it was a thing. It was truly something special.
By the nine divine.
So for whatever reason, a guard suddenly spawns in. Whoops. When I'm stealing things and when I'm inside their bedroom. But not anywhere else or any other time. So I will just steal the things that interest me. There was a repair hammer, I think. Yeah. That's pretty much it. You'd go ahead and hop in the basement. I guess I see no reason why not. In the Oblivion Gate, yeah. Wouldn't that be wild if they were somehow able to persecute your actions from? In fact, I should probably save. Yeah, from like within the Oblivion Gates. Although it's probably hard to do anything illegal from within the Oblivion Gate because anything you fight is going to be inherently evil. Murder mystery fan, getting to be the villain. Yeah, it was a delightful time, and like taking notes on all the people at the party, and learning their ins and their outs and their desires and loathes, and turning them against each other, and just like all the ways you could foreseeably do that quest. It was pretty cool. I remember some people saying they like maintained a separate save file specifically so they could return to that quest anytime they wanted, which is not a bad idea, honestly. It's a really good quest, yeah. It's probably one of many examples of why a lot of people love, for good reason, the Dark Brotherhood, because sometimes you're an evil bastard, other times you're an evil bastard with like doing fun stuff. Really? Oh, I bet it's trespassing. Okay. I'm like so surprised that this guy is like up your butt whenever you're in here. Like, how does he know you're doing this? Because yes, technically it's trespassing, but like, how do you know?
It's all over, lawbreaker. Your spree is
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, isn't that interesting how they like are able to sniff you out? They know I'm doing an illegal. So if I need to sneak out of here undetected, because I can't warp, I don't think. Or fast travel, rather. If I'm to sneak out of here, I need to don my sneaky gear to make it the hell out of here. Watching him like fall over himself trying to reach us, though, was pretty satisfying. It's all over, lawbreaker. Mehrunes Razor invades, but this dude over here is in a guy's house. Although we did technically murder him. We did technically assassinate the guy, so there is that. We're not exactly innocent. Yeah, this
looks like there's a killer about.
Isn't that interesting? Like,
Stop right there.
he just immediately finds us. Maybe it's because like. Maybe what's going on here is that guards just like have an innate knowledge that if there's a dead body, then we can like automatically locate the player. Maybe that's what's going on here. So we might have to crack a few eggs to get out of here. Because I don't think you can fast travel from here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can fast travel. But I don't think you can. Yeah, you cannot fast travel while guards are actively... So they're already pursuing us at this point. It's so interesting. Yeah, maybe they are able to like figure out that the murder happened like instantly. Let's see when they pursue us. Like if I kill the guy and then just leave immediately. Ring up Khajiit. It's a good ring. It's very good. Oh, you're saying you're saying the guard would say it to Mehrunes Razor, which would be very fun to imagine. He's gonna place Mehrunes Razor under arrest. Like, yeah, good luck with that, bud. While guards are coming, yeah. Oh, Jesus. That scared me, goddamn. Amber alert, goddamn. I was like, the guards are coming. Brr. So yeah, so even from inside of here, if I exit out here... Oh, actually, that might be a bad idea, because that might autosave. It did autosave. Although it's okay. Oh, no, it's not. Nope, 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 it's fine. It's fine. Nope, everything's fine. I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, it autosaved, so now I'm locked in. I gotta get to the place at the time. He might not have followed me out, actually. But yeah, we need to get to our Thieves Guild homies. Cannot wait while guards are coming, yeah. So the Thieves Guild would be the waterfront down south. And it is what time? 12 o'clock. Actually, that's perfect. The dude will be there. Yeah, I'm just fascinated that they were able to detect me. That they were able to, like, through a closed door, hear the murder happening. Because it kind of makes sense that, yes, there would be noises of a scuffle. But we've never had that previously, so I'm kind of surprised that it's a thing now. Whereas it was not a thing previously.
Oh,
The fourth wall won't protect. Yeah, I was leaning too heavily on the fourth wall. So the guards are coming, they say. I don't think we're actively being pursued. And those guys don't seem to give a fuck. Yeah, it still says guards are coming, but I'll believe when I see it. They've got my phone. Yeah, they got the GPS that they're using to track us. Oh, look at this guy. I'm Usei.
I'm honored to be entrusted by the Grey Fox himself to run these errands.
You remember him from previous Thieves Guild quests, which is pretty nice.
Shadow hide you.
It's got to be a one-hit kill Piazza. Yeah, you're probably right. And as you might have figured out, whoop. Wait for it. Wait for it. Don't crash, please. Please don't crash. I did not crash. As you might have figured out, my skills are not quite high enough
You wear the shadows well.
to be able to execute with a single shot, unfortunately.
You can pay your fines to the guards. Consider it
I'd like to
done.
pay it off right now, please. Warrants have been paid off.
Shadow hide you.
So the guards are no longer pursuing us. How they look? Yeah, they're quite different compared to how we see them in Morrowind, that's for sure. And probably Skyrim too, for that matter. All right, well that concludes one of the children. What was the next one in the list? First one was Matthias, or Matthias maybe. And then the Drunken Dragon Inn is next. I'm gonna assume that is not inside the Imperial City. There's Muck Valley Cavern, which we have not been to. This inn sounds like it's inside of like either a big city or like on the outskirts as like a separate hotel thingy. It's over here. Okay. Let's put this, friends. It's getting fairly late and I should probably wrap up. So I'm gonna warp to the mouth of the Panther. This is a convenient like place to warp to. And we're gonna wrap up here. We're gonna next time we stream this, which will be tomorrow actually. Tomorrow evening we'll pick up where we left off. We will continue southwards to the Drunken Dragon Inn and meet this individual and have a conversation with them that involves stabbing them in the face multiple times. So we'll resolve this next Dark Brotherhood quest that we're on and keep pursuing Dark Brotherhood grandeur. Although I should probably, yeah, fence some of my stolen goods to the Thieves Guild. Maybe do some Thieves Guild quests while I'm at it. We also have the Ectoplasm for that one Fighters Guild quest. Up in Coral, I think. Either Coral or Cheydinhal. So, we have lots of other things we're sitting on. There's so much in this game. But it was nice wrapping up Sundercliff Watch in all of its glory. Getting Mehrunes Razor is pretty sweet. And of course, Dark Brotherhood is always a fun and evil time, which is always nice. Khajiit are pretty different in Daggerfall. Interesting. You see they were a different breed. That sounds interesting, yeah. Yeah, I know I've heard of stuff like that where there's like different breeds of creatures. And in fact, like in Morrowind, for example, the vampires look super different than how they look in Oblivion. I think there's like an in-game explanation for that. I'll be kind of curious to see, to you know, see more of those kinds of lore explanation things as they come up. Real quick, here is the Oblivion. Oh, I have to bingo. There we go. There's the bingo Oblivion card. I'm actually going to generate my own bingo sheet or bingo page rather. Bingo board or yeah, bingo board, bingo card, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to generate my own and we're going to look at it and we're going to see if we got a bingo tonight on my end at least. If anybody else has achieved a bingo, you're welcome to share like a screenshot of it or something to see how it all went. So acquired a new spell. Yes, we definitely did that from tomes. That is, entered an abandoned castle or keep. We were in Iliad ruins and caves, but no castles or keeps today. Knocked down by a melee attack. Yes, I think we got paralyzed for sure. Knocked down by a melee attack. I don't know, actually. Did we? I'm going to go ahead and check it for now. We probably did, although I can't remember it happening. Bandit or highwayman outdoors? No. Find an amazing weapon or piece of armor we can't use? Not really. Not that we can't use. I mean, there was some like clothing items that were just kind of okay. I wouldn't call them amazing though. They were good, but like what we had is better. So I wouldn't call that like amazing. Useful ring or amulet. I don't know of any rings that we found. Certainly no amulets. Contracted disease, yes. Abandoned cave, yes. Imperial City, yes. Streamed until 1:30, no. Or ending a little bit earlier. Did we raise disposition? No, we did not today. Attempt to pickpocket? Yes. I am live? Yes. Glitchy NPC behavior? I don't know if I would call it glitchy, but that guard movement was really funny earlier, so we'll say that kind of counts. Very hard lock? None of that tonight. No very hard locks at all. Started late? Yes. Nernroot? Yes. Hit by silence? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I think that did happen. Acquired a bounty? Yes. Ooh, we got to... Oh, the stream did go down. So there's a bingo right there. That's a free nut. Hell yeah. Free nut and 5 points to the counter. I'm adding to the points right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Improvised TED Talk, none of those. Sneak attack, yes. Ooh, so close. So close to another bingo right there. Iliad Ruin, yes. Blessing from a way shrine, no. That denied us here. Sold still and go to offense, no. So we definitely got the one here. Find an amazing weapon or piece of armor we can't use. We found clothing that was good, but like the problem, the reason why I'm not using it is because it's not as good as what we currently have. So I think that's why I'm like saying no to that one. It'd be one thing if it was like a heavy armor thing and it was like, man, this is amazing, but there's no use for it, or like a really cool blunt weapon or a cool axe or you know, that kind of shit, a mace or something. But we did find lots of other cool things, and we did get one bingo, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. So that will then end tonight's festivities. So thank you for watching, friends.